We are back! We are back! We're so back in action! Let's get ready to rumble!
Go get him. Too sweet.
Too sweet. Everybody in the panel and out there in the chat. Very happy Wednesday to you all. Welcome to Wolfpack Wednesday, the best day of the week where Brick Artemis, DLO The Collector, and yours truly help you just kind of get over that hump, talk about some figures, maybe entertain you just a little bit, and hang out. So that's what we're here to do. If you guys noticed anything different about us, we're celebrating too. It is the eve of the 2023 football season.
Let's go.
Let's go.
If you guys are football fans out there in the chat, I want to know who's your team and what you're excited for this season. But before we get into the chat, I also want to ask you guys. Obviously, we can kind of tell with your jerseys and whatnot. But what's your favorite team? And what are you most excited for about your team for the 2023 season? Brick, I want to go with you first.
Oh, man, my team is the Green Bay Packers, Green Bay all the way. And most looking forward to seeing what Jordan Love does. After Rodgers left to go to the Jets, kind of see where the Packers, what their future is going to be like with Love, and if we're going to stick with them for a while.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. And what is your projected outcome for the year for us?
I would say less than 10 wins.
Okay.
And go from there.
Very fair. Very fair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. D'Lo whipping out the old Eli Manning jersey of years past.
The GOAT, the best Eli, the best Manning.
Are you excited? And well, I know
killed us in the playoffs.
Yeah, I always think about we've beaten the Giants so many times, but I always remember those two times.
Yep.
Unfortunately, just not when it counts, guys. Just not when it counts.
Man.
Not when it counts. What are you excited for this season, D'Lo? Saquon? Jones.
There's so much here. We got a kick ass team. We got a team that's definitely on the rise. Excited about our defense getting better there. Just scooped up Isaiah Simmons from the Cardinals for a steal.
Dude, they are tanking.
He looks like a stud now that he's wearing blue and white and red. So it makes sense. It naturally gives you a couple more bonus points in your skill set, like if you were playing Madden there for sure. So, man, I think we're going to probably win the division. I'm going to say that right now. I know Eagles fans, if you're out there,
oh man,
we're not scared.
You really think you're winning that division? Okay.
I do. I genuinely do.
Oh,
whoa.
Is that a Peppers jersey?
It is.
Look what the catch did.
I'm a fan of Peppers. I'll take that.
You can be a fan of Bears if you want to.
You know what? I went to Soldier Field. I went to Soldier Field for it's my I went for an Ed Sheeran concert. Went to Soldier Field, and it was with my wife. And I was very surprised how classy that field is. First time I've been there. I liked it.
It's old.
That's what I loved about it.
It's shitty. I mean, that's why they're going to be building a new one. My boss is from Chicago, and he was up in Green Bay with me today, and we were just kind of talking about it. He's like, ever since they renovated that, they made it one of the shittiest in the NFL. I'm like, even shittier than Washington? He's like, yeah. I'm like, wow, that's saying something.
Yeah, I just liked it because it was old school. It felt very.
It was.
It has this mystique on it, kind of like.
I'm sorry. Time out, everybody. Aren't you guys supposed to be rivals? Why are you being so nice to each other?
Oh no, we're not there yet.
Because we're live.
Yeah, we're live.
Gross.
And when you've owned a team, for so long, there's really not much to talk about.
Dang, there we go.
And Rodgers is not there
now.
So
it's going to be sad though.
There's a new owner.
It's going to be sad for the Bears if the Packers win again week 1 without Rodgers. So big day for the Bears. They got to win.
With the emerging. Don't pretend, Brick. You drafted Justin Fields in the 3rd round. That was you.
Oh man.
Optical, good to see you. I thought you were going to be late, so I'm glad you're here.
I just gave them melatonin, and
that's good parenting. That's damn good.
Blackberry brandy.
So, optical Bears fan, obviously. What are you most looking forward to in this 2023 season?
Well, taking all of your money, being a 2-time fantasy champ myself. I'm not bragging or anything, but I have my ring on the other side. But
wow.
No, it's I don't know, man. Like honestly, I don't have much expectation for the Bears. They're gonna be a little better than last year, but there's still a lot of holes in there. But I guess to see whether you should stick with, as a Bears fan, with Justin Fields or not, because he's shown flashes. Because if not, don't Mitch Trubisky this. Move on. You know, just like do not stay for too long. Move on. We'll see.
That Mr. Trubisky one, that is going to haunt you guys forever.
Jesus, we moved up.
You moved up.
Who's Mahomes? Don't draft Mahomes. Let's go for Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, I mean, even that. I mean, say what you will about, but also like Watson was there as well too. I mean, there's so many. Wasn't Josh? Wait, was Allen in that same draft as well too? Josh Allen, or was that the draft?
Josh
after?
Allen was with Baker Mayfield.
After. Yeah, that's right. He was after.
Look
at that. Shout out to any of our Cleveland Brown viewers over here.
Shout out. So, so obviously we're not going to spend the whole stream talking about football.
No.
So don't worry about that for all you
Don't be scared.
Football football watchers. But
I'm back.
It is the eve of the season, so we are excited. So we wanted to just give a little bit of our hometown team flair, and I'm going to check in with you guys on what your team is. But really quick too, just a quick PSA before we get going. I know there's been a lot of stuff happening this last week with resellers and YouTubers and a lot of shit talking out there regarding YouTubers, on certain channels. So I just want you all to know, when you're watching this channel, there's not going to be any of that stuff. We're not talking about other YouTubers. We're going to talk to each other and about the hobby that we love with respect. And we're just going to have fun because that's what it's about. We're here to congregate about these 1/6 scale figures that we love so much. So that's exactly what we're going to do tonight. And having said that,
welcome to the fucking show.
Hello, Philip. Yeah, I'll post it tomorrow. I got you. There's
I'll call you back
right away.
Yes, welcome to the effing show. We got a packed house of 41 in the house, so don't forget to hit that like button. I know I see Big Braid is like, no drama, bye. Yeah, well, there might be drama. We might still talk about Toys Wonderland because there is some funny shit that happened today on Facebook. I don't know if you guys saw that. So we got to talk about that. But let's see who's in the chat here. I got to scroll all the way up. You guys are killing it already. Big Breda. Usually this guy is the last one here. He's usually late. Here he made
one of the drama, man.
Hello, fake collectors. First one here. Hey, thanks for being here. Good old Spotchka in the house. Big Breda just watched a review of Thunder Toys Bloodsport. Good to have you. Let's see here. Boba Fettuccine. I love the name. Good to always have you here. What up, gang? You are early, so thanks for being here. We got Action in the Box. Hello. Jazzy, really good to have you. We got the Ben Thomas Show. Good friend of the Jedi right there. Evil Sneaker, speaking of good friends. You guys can't see that, but he's doing the too sweet because he is a Wolfpack member. Let's see, we got Bones in the house, rolling up, waiting for the Wolfpack. We are here. We are ready. We are going to get going with a great show. Let's see. You guys are hitting this thing up. We got Eddie Rodriguez. Hello. Mad Planet 23. Good to have you. William Cody, another channel member. He says, let me guess, DLO late again. No. We're always on time. We meditate. We make sure that we have everything lined up and ready to go. So
team pep talk,
go.
Team huddle.
We gotta, get ourselves into a little huddle and do our chant. So
that's right.
We got Joshua Johnson in the house. Wagers on how late they're going to start. I think we were only like a minute or two late. I think we were good.
You guys are impatient. Did you miss us that much? Thank you, guys.
Most channels don't start for like 5 to 10 minutes after. Yeah. So MD20. Breda is getting the thanks. I think he just likes to go on these channels so that he can get like, bigger head, get kind of
just showered with praise in the comments there all the time. It's not about you.
Get back to work, Breda. Another Jedi Knights Watch channel member is Mike Litteris. Let's do this. Mike is a great guy. I see him in almost all of the community chat rooms out there. So great supporter of the hobby. Appreciate him. We got Daniel in the house. Hello, everyone. Cylon, another groupie of the pack. Good to see you. Tighter FL. What's up? Universal Key. Haven't seen him for a while. Good to have you here. Appreciate that. Christian Cooper. What is up? What is up? All right. Yes, football is back. Best day will be Sundays. Dude, I'm so excited. I got to get Red Zone back on. Got the 2 TVs set up, so Red Zone Packer game. We're good to go. Dude, did you guys know that the Packers-Bears game is like the national 3:30 game for most of the U.S., so.
It'll be an exciting 3-0 game.
Yeah, I was just going to say 13-10 game.
Oh, man.
Well, I don't know if you've heard Optical, but both of our receivers have hamstring issues, so I don't even know if they're going to play.
It's going to be, for all we know, it's going to snow that day.
Yeah.
It's
like
snow.
Someone should start Aaron Jones. Who had him? Who picked him? All right, I did.
Good man.
See a lot of Dylan.
Nah.
AJ,
Right.
Thunder
You
Thigh.
want 1.5 yards? Sure, maybe.
We have Mr. Majicase in the house himself, Brian Wong. What is going on, dude? Good to see you. Good to see you. Christian Cooper says, Hooday Bengals. We got a Bengals fan here. Yes, it's football season. Oh, Breda, that's cute. His team's Hot Toys because he is a collector. Good job.
Ooh, shout out to Breda for being a collector. I wish I could be one.
Ben's in
Yeah.
Canada, so they play hockey there. Oh, man, look at this. Got some hockey fans.
Ooh.
Gotham City Knights. Oh, my gosh. My favorite team, of course, the Fighting Litterists.
Mikey Clown, man.
1-6 enthusiasts. Hello and welcome to the Wolfpack. Bengals winning it all. They're definitely up there. They could. Payton 23. Good to have you. Another weekly member of the Wolfpack. Appreciate it. Got a college fan here. Roll Tide.
Tyler, you're in Florida, my man. No Gators? Come on.
Here you go. There you go. Kind of follow the Giants.
There you go. Smartest guy in the chat. Shout out to you, Mad Planet 23.
Is that your other account?
What's up, Chris? Thank you for being
You
here.
can't
We
see
got
my
a
hands, can you?
super
That's true.
chat. Cobra's collection in the house. What is going on, my friend? He says, "Go Chargers." Everyone else, simps. Long time, guys. Yeah, good to see you. You know, I'm a bit of a Chargers fan myself. I actually considered wearing my Herbert jersey, but I gotta go green and gold first. But love watching the Chargers play. Fun team, and I do have a man crush on Herbert. So
I couldn't tell.
Wait. Is that a boba and throne I see in the background, Jedi? I don't know. Maybe. Might be. Let's see here. It is. Good catch. Good catch. Got that today, actually. Do you like?
It looks good. How does your accountant feel about that?
Not good. Not
Okay.
good. But
Gotcha.
we can always make more money. All right. Too much Packer. I haven't seen any Packer love in the chat, so
No, it was in the beginning. I saw that comment. I agree with you, Eddie. It was like a love fest for a second. They're like, oh, you go to my field, and I was like, barf, act like rivals.
we got Conquer Knight here. What's up, guys? Finally got my InArt Joker this week. Spec Fiction finally got it to me. It's amazing. A lot of people that have finally gotten theirs. Very happy with it. Very excited to have it in hand, and I think a lot of people are thinking like it's better than they thought it would be as well. So congrats to you, Conquer Knight. That's awesome. Glad you like it too. We got Flavio's House of Collectibles.
There we go. Another smart
in the
person.
house. Let's go, Giants.
Let's go, baby.
Man, this is crazy here. All right. Fly, Eagles, fly. Payton.
All right. Graham, show me where the block button is. How does that work here on YouTube land?
Oh, man.
I'll figure it out.
Let me just see here. We got Neilerific in the house. What's going on? And I think we're getting there. Got Luis. Hello, Luis. good to see you. See him in some other chats as well. So good to have him here. We got Marco, the Raiders fan. Great to see the panel representing 3, 6, and 11 teams. That's harsh. And he's talking as a Raiders fan. So
I don't understand that, but yeah.
4 wins maybe for the Raiders.
They got a new quarterback though. Doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
Let's take out Carr. Let's get in Garoppolo.
Oh man.
We have a first time on the chat. God, help me out with this first name, guys. I don't have the pronunciation.
Guillermo Reyes. Thank you, my friend.
Hello,
Thank you for joining
Wolfpack.
us tonight. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Always good to see new people in the chat. Always love that. All right. I think we got Stryker as well. Don't want to miss him. How's it going, everybody? All right. And Titer says Bucks season tickets for my Florida team, DLO.
Okay.
Good.
Makes more sense.
Glad a lot of us are excited about football coming, because I am for sure too. So, guys, on the panel, let's get going here. There's a lot to talk about. We have figure announcements. We have figure releases. We have Toys Wonderland doing some weird shit. What do you guys want to start with? What do you guys want to talk about first? Is there a figure you want to talk about?
Let's see. First person in chat wins. We'll start with that. Let's give the chat. Let's let the chat do it. First person in chat. What do you guys want to start with first?
A drink.
Toys Wonderland or a figures? Your choice. First one to comment.
I hope somebody picks Kate Bishop first.
Let's see. He says, "Shut up, we're talking." All right, Jazzy said it.
Jazzy says T-dubs. All right, so let's start with that. He wins. So, if you guys saw, was it a day or two ago? Obviously, Justin departed. And that is what it is. That's his choice. We're not going to talk about that here, but they put out a video, kind of talking to you as the buyer, saying, this is what we're doing to improve. And, we have all this stock, and, COVID really kind of, we're looking for workers, and we're hiring all these team members. We're going to have a telephone line and all this stuff. Really weird voice, made me uncomfortable. Felt like I was in some sort of weird time portal. I don't know. I didn't watch the whole thing. I've never bought from Toys Wonderland, so I don't really care about what's going on. I made the decision as an adult that I wasn't going to buy from there because it didn't make sense for me. The shipping was astronomical, and I did hear a bunch of negative stuff. So if it works for somebody to buy there, I don't care. You buy where you want. You are an adult. As a collector, I might be an influencer. I don't try to be. I just try to give you my opinion, and then you, as the person listening, you make the decision after that. So I'm just looking at this from the outside. I don't know if you guys feel any different on the panel, but so I'm just kind of looking at this as, I don't want to say comical, because it's not, because there's a lot of people that have bought that are in a little bit of hot water. But what do you guys think about this that was posted today? So basically what they did was they used this, is it like this this imagery that you can buy,
like a stock photo.
Yeah, basically. Like stock photos, and they put it in their video. So all the stuff you see in the video isn't theirs, and it's as I would say in dodgeball, it's a bold strategy. Let's see if it pays off. So Optical, you're the guest. I want to start with you. What are your thoughts about this? Is it comical? Is it nothing wrong with it? Is it beyond belief? What's going on?
It's weird.
it's
just weird. Is they're coming back from this, from a business standpoint, right? They're Justin is the duct tape that's holding them together, right? The moment he left, their reputation is so bad, whether it's warranted or not. I think it's warranted at this point, right? I think we can safe to say that whether you have an experience or not, there's so much smoke that there's fire. The reputation is so bad that can you salvage this, right? Can you thinking logically here, without your face? I mean, it's one thing if Justin was with, let's say, I don't know, Tim Cent, right? And then he left. It just makes sense that Tim Cent keeps on going on because he just has an amazing service, everything else. So he's not going to crumble down. Toys Wonderland, okay, I get it. You're trying to save your business perhaps, but it's going to take a massive you know, I don't know, like PR control, whatever it is, you have to basically lower your price to dirt cheap, be as good as you are, and even then people are going to bring up your past. And what's good, what is this long-term strategy here? That is just my question. Like when Justin left, he's basically the only one that you can kind of hold on to with this company. Other than that, you know, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to save the company. I don't blame them for trying, right? If it's their livelihood, then fine, you do what you got to do. But it's just,
I don't think it helps their cause.
Yeah, it's
confusing. But what do you do in that aspect? You know, DLO, do you sit back quietly and just business as usual? I mean, I like the fact that they get something out there to say, hey, we're trying to do better. But again, like,
well, I mean, bottom line, regardless, I mean, the strategy doesn't mean squat. I'm going to say that point blank here, just because it's too little, too late. Quite frankly,
true.
You know it. I mean, you put out this whatever you want to call this video, because it was, I don't know if it's a comedy, I don't know if it's a drama, whatever the hell you want to label this here, but it definitely didn't make me feel like this was gonna suddenly improve everything with Toys Wonderland. I mean, if it did, isn't it kind of odd that Justin leaves and then suddenly you guys have this whole game plan of how you're going to hire your people, et cetera, et cetera? No, it seems like damage control. It seems like damage control more than actually really being a solution. For me, it feels like it's going to be one of those things where, you know, yeah, we're going to say all the things that you guys want to hear or say, but we're not going to do one of them just because you don't have a track record of actually making improvements. So, you know, you feel for the people who are stuck in those situations with them right now, pre-orders, etc., whatever everybody's going around the world who's been using Toys Wonderland for the longest time. But for me, this is a cluster F. It is a cluster F that I don't see how it can possibly be repaired. Because like Optical said, I mean, Justin was like the duct tape there. And man, if you rip that off right now you got a big crack here, and you know, you're taking on water now. You know what I mean? And it's the only thing that was keeping you afloat in the first place. Now you got the one person that was in your corner, literally the only person in this entire community that was in your corner, abandoning shit for you here, not to use somebody else's term here, but how do you save this now? Everybody had complaints about this for many, many years. It's been ongoing for so long that I'm exhausted by the whole subject. But at the same time, when you finally have to do something to save your company after your biggest supporter leaves you, you put that out there for all of us to see and expect us to be like, okay, we'll buy from you again. Sure. No way. Listen, there might be somebody that will still do it, but someone with half a brain sees that and realizes like, this is more of the same. This is definitely not going to get any better. And if God forbid, I place another order with them, it's on my fault at this point, because there's nothing left for you to really say with any safety and justification. I don't care what the price is. I'm not buying from them anymore. That's just it. That would be my reaction as a collector. Now, you know, they've been around for a long time, and Justin and all that stuff, we're not going to get into that there, but you know, I've been around the collecting community long before he started with Toys Wonderland. And so I've seen Toys Wonderland from the infancy there. In the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie. I had maybe 1 or 2 purchases with them, and back in the day, it was smooth. It was a better price, you know, with taxes and shipping all included, and it was there within a couple of days. It was actually working really, really well. But what really, really turned it sideways up on its head here is because of COVID, and then shipping costs was extremely high everywhere, and then, you know, delays and all that, and it just became a total nightmare. And at that point, like whatever figures I had with them, I just stopped buying from them, just because it didn't make sense for me to continue to buy from them at that point there. But you know, I mean, you back when these problems started happening, you used to see comments in groups every single day about somebody having a problem. And you know, it just became, you know, to the point where like this was bound to happen. You know, that's my reaction to this here. And I think Toys Wonderland, this Toy Wonderland just needs to go away, guys. If I'm being honest, maybe rebrand, come up with a new strategy. But
I think they will.
This name is done and buried, and it will never ever recover from this.
Coming to you soon, Wonderland Toys. Rick, What do you make of this? Cheap move?
I mean,
you okay with it? They're just trying to do what they can.
I agree with the other guys. I mean, they're doing what they can. I think they could have done a lot more. They could have done a lot better than kind of paying for this template, pretty much, these pictures. You know, and it, again, like what DLO, I believe DLO was saying, it's kind of a cheap way of doing so. They you know, it kind of shows, you know, what I think is it kind of shows that they're desperate at this point, and they're, instead of, you know, and when you're desperate, you don't really think, you just kind of do so. Oh, we need to do something here, and they hurry up and do it like the day after, which is what they did after, you know, Justin spoke. They heard it, made a statement, and then they came out with this little video, and you know, it just shows desperation. So I think they're gonna be sinking. I mean, they're already sinking, but they're gonna be at the bottom of the ocean here pretty soon. So
yeah, fair enough. So I guess what do you guys think buyers should look for in a retailer reseller? Like, how can they protect themselves? What's important to you as a buyer, and what advice, I guess, can we give them? Because Brooke, I remember not so long ago when you were new into the hobby and you were thinking about buying from Toys Wonderland. I was like, yeah, I'm like, I wouldn't do that if I were you. You know, this and this are the issues. And so what do you guys think? Buyer, what do you look for, you know, in a retailer reseller before you buy? What's important to you outside of obviously the figure being new and, you know, as described? Anybody can jump in.
I mean, I think a big part is, you know, if you're, the problem is, though, you need, for me, it's, you need to try something first. So if I buy from, let's say, Sideshow, and their customer service is great, and they take care of me, I'm going to rebuy from them. And, you know, and everybody has their own stories for everything. But the problem is when you first buy something, and how do you know, and what do you look for? And I would just say, you know, for me, it's reviews and what the, you know, the rest of, you know, YouTube is saying about the websites and the sellers, and, you know, and even eBay sellers. Like, you know, we know people like Hawk Wars Toys, you know, I'll throw him out there, you know, so a lot of people know him and trust him if they buy from him, or, you know, whatever. And it's the same with big stores, big websites and all that. So I kind of, reputation, I guess, is the biggest thing for me.
I mean, yeah, obviously with Sideshow, they have the reputation. You know, if something's wrong with that figure, they're going to take it back and you're going to get something new. For us in the States, I mean, another thing could be, you know, not going overseas. It's a little riskier for us going overseas.
Sure.
Just, you know, if something is wrong, sending it back and all that good stuff. But optical, is there anything that you can kind of think of that, you know, buyers should look for if they're new, like they don't know all of these resellers or retailers out there? Like, any advice for people out there?
If you're new, here's what drives somebody in the Hong Kong market is they want to get it first. So if you're new, patience is the key, because anything that you're coming new, you want to be in the safe, secure place, right? You want to get your feet wet. You want to get the experience first. So what better way to do that? But the two biggest ones here is Sideshow and Big Bad, right? Like those two are the most established one. So you buy from them, you're going to have a great experience. Now, once you get your feet wet, maybe after 5-6 figures, if you're willing to take a chance, because let's be honest, even the most reliable Hong Kong seller, if something goes wrong, you're not guaranteed. You know, like, let's say, I'm not saying they're going to scam you, but let's say your cap shield came in and it's scratched. You know how easy it is to replace in Sideshow and Big Bad compared to a Hong Kong seller.
Sure.
And I'm talking about the Hong Kong reseller that is legit. You know, I'm talking about Tim Sant and all that stuff. There's still a hassle. Everything is cool till something goes wrong. That's where you see the reliability of the company. And now, if you're new, and I always thought of this, right? Like, Hot Toys is really expensive. So I always thought that my viewers, when I say this, that they're adults, that they can buy this, and before they jump into this, that they're going to do the research first, right? Like, of course, like, if you listen enough to a big enough YouTuber, once they say a company, and I talked about this last night, once they say a company on front, I got this from, that means they're, you know, we're pretty much sponsored. Sure. So it's in our best interest, you know, and I laid out a sponsorship last night. If you guys want to watch it, So, but it doesn't mean every YouTuber they're looking after themselves, right? Like the Justins, me, the Wills, that's how you keep the channel going. And I'm not going to lie about that. That's just a part of the business. But I always thought that if you're buying hot toys, you got a pretty decent job. I would think that you're an adult at least, because if you're 16, it's like, don't buy hot toys.
Yeah.
Don't spend all your money in here. Go out, find a girlfriend. I don't know, boyfriend, whatever it is. Enjoy life. We're old and with kids and
nothing
can't
better
even
to do
go out
now.
anymore. That's why we play with dolls.
Right.
So it's just like that's our joy now. But yeah, that's what I always
crossed the
thought,
line there.
Sounds like I'm leaving tomorrow now. Thanks.
I am.
I just had epiphany, guys. Sorry.
Just I'm dying inside while I say this, but just do your research. You're gonna hear the more famous they are, and if you haven't heard of the store before, there's a reason why. And if you're new, try to stay safe. And once you get the feel of it, now you can kind of be a little bit risk. I'm not gonna lie, I bought from Toys Wonderland along with Jazzy and all the other guys.
We've all probably done it at some point.
Their prices are, but when I did that, I know the risk.
Thanks, Riley.
And there's a reward. Like the risk is maybe you won't get your figures, because if something goes wrong, they're probably like, well, I gave you the tracking number, F you, and keep in mind, when I take risk, the risk is really low, because I have a platform. Let's just be honest here. If you got a platform, you're they're scared of you. You're gonna be like, man, it's like, oh, I'm not gonna buy from that anymore. If you're new, you're not really, you don't know the ins and outs yet, don't risk it. Go with Sideshow, go with Big Bad, go with the US reseller out there, Spec Fiction, or whoever the case may be. So you got a better chance of recouping your money or whatever the case is. Now, once you're getting a real frisky here, it's like, oh man, I want to do some savings. Just keep in mind, look at the shipping price first before you hit that checkout button, because that's Toys Wonderland's MO before. Their prices are really nice, and then when you're about to check out, their prices are high.
Boom.
It's like,
or when it's about to ship, you might not even know until it ships.
That's gonna be $600, buddy.
Sorry. Up until you get that, I was like, what the heck is happening here? And so I'm a little confused about all these things, because it's not like they became shady 6 months ago.
This has been for years.
They've been shady for 3 years now. So it's just, I guess, bringing it into light. Be careful out there, because like I said, even the most trusted seller out there can go sideways. I'm not saying they're scamming you, but it could go sideways.
Lots of people piss and moan about Sideshow, but like they'll have bad experiences or something, but they're going to back it up and fix it, and
they're higher priced.
No questions.
No question. Like the Sideshow and Big Bad, they're higher priced than the Hong Kong ones that you would see, especially the one that's in stock. But it's like insurance. You're paying for that peace of mind. You get car insurance, not because you want to get an accident, but in case you have an accident, so it comes with a price. So be prepared. If you order from Hong Kong, there's a certain risk. Just be prepared.
That's the big thing for me. Like, I never thought this was a very challenging, hard thing to figure out here. I mean, I came from, before collecting hot toys, I collected sneakers. I was a big sneakerhead. Right. So there's, you got your Foot Lockers, like, here in the States and stuff like that. But then you got your secondary markets out there, your resellers out there, the guy who buys 15 of the same Jordans and you don't get yours, so you got to buy from him, kind of thing. And, with that, there's always been risk with that stuff involved. Like, if you get a bad pair of sneakers, I mean, you're SOL if it's not a reputable company there. Right. So, not to touch them again, or, do your research ahead of time, or find someone who's done business with them before. And I think the whole thing with us as collectors, for some reason, it almost feels like we all feel like, even though, because everybody has a website, they're going to be the same, like Sideshow would treat you. They're going to be the same, like Big Bad Toy Store would sell you there. Now, I feel for our friends overseas, so obviously you have different limitations, and it's harder. Right. It's more expensive to do that. And I get that part. And obviously I sympathize with you guys on that side of the conversation. But for the people who are ordering from over here in the States, it is, if you're getting it for the price, you got to understand that price comes with a risk, and you're assuming that risk every single time when you buy from somebody like that. If you're trying to get a good deal, you got to understand there's always a chance that there's going to be risk involved with you maybe having the best experience possible placing that order there. If you're buying in the States, like Optical and everybody said before, you can rely on customer service here. You can rely because it's an authorized retailer of this stuff here. So, I hate to say this because I don't want to kind of put the collectors kind of in a spot here, but honestly, part of this is our fault too. Like when buying from there, because like Optical said, this is not 6 months ago. This is something that's been going on for years and years. And there's so many stories. In fact, those stories are the very reasons why I personally stopped ordering from them, because I felt lucky that I had 2 orders with them. I got what I needed. I didn't have any problems. Once I started hearing the stories come out, I was like, well, I'm not going to take that risk. I don't care if I'm saving $50 on a figure. It's just not worth it if I get nothing back, or I can't get my money back, or I can't get my figure replaced. Anything that comes in my way, or if I'm, God forbid, like some people I've heard who waited months, almost years to get a figure from those guys in some weird situations. It's not worth it. For an extra $50 to be saved, I can put that towards a deposit on a new figure. If I wanted, there's so much I can do with that extra money there. Then realistically, it's not even worth the value to me anymore. It's just like, yeah, for that hassle, it just, for me, it just doesn't make sense to do it there. So I don't know. I'm glad that we're starting to make progress with the conversation with these guys here, because honestly, it's been exhausting hearing the same fight for years and years and the same complaints and nothing's happened with it. Let's just see what happens from here. If they go away, no problem. Someone will replace them. It wasn't always one of them. There was tons of other sales there. You mentioned Tim Cent. Tim Cent's been around for years. I've ordered from him, never had a problem myself personally. So, and the other thing too is you got to use each other, guys. We are stronger as a community when we communicate, as opposed to just sitting here and not asking questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question, guys. If you don't know a retailer but you're interested in buying them, post it in a group. Ask your fellow collectors. See if somebody else has done business with these guys before that you're thinking about buying from for the first time. Yeah. And of course, at the same time too, use things that protect your money as well too. Use PayPal. Make sure it's goods and services. Make sure you know what your refund policy is, as far as like how much time you have to actually get a refund if this transaction doesn't go the way you want it to. So, I think what we need to do is, honestly, we need to help each other out here, because if we just communicate and I tell Optical, hey, Optical, I had experience with this guy over here. He's fantastic. I definitely recommend them. Cool. Now Optical has another option when he's looking for a figure, and he can do this because he knows that I recommended one because I personally have had that experience. So there's enough of us to go around. There's enough websites, enough retailers and secondary resellers that are out there. That way, if we just ask the question, I'm sure someone's going to have the answer for you there. And then, make your decision from there. But if because one guy said, hey, I got mine from here, and that's enough for you to do it, maybe think twice, do some research before, or ask a friend, and then do the order there. But don't put yourself in a position to lose out on money just because you didn't take that small step to just make sure it was be a good place for you to make your next purchase at,
Very well said. Because it is football season and this is a special episode.
Oh, let's go.
We will take some sidebars here. So RPG World Official says, should I trade Cooper Cup for T. Higgins? Cup might be out 4 weeks. I say yes.
Yes.
Double yes. I think it's gonna be more than 4 weeks.
Yeah, I drafted.
I think he might. Yeah, he's been seen a specialist.
It's gonna linger. That injury is gonna linger.
Yeah,
not good. If you guys have another trade,
and Higgins has a better quarterback too. So,
and Chase is always injured too. So whenever Chase goes down, Higgins becomes wide receiver 1, which happened to me a couple of years now in a row. So,
yeah, pick up Tyler Boyd while you're at it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's just pump the brakes here. So, okay. So we talked about protecting yourself and I think Optical kind of alluded to it. Like, obviously we have this platform, and when we say we bought it from somewhere, we are promoting that company. So, Brick, my question is, are we as YouTube influencers responsible for where collectors buy?
Ooh. I don't think we're responsible 100%. I think as we've said in the past, and as people have said a lot recently, is we might influence certain people to go a certain way, but who makes the final decision? We've what's that?
He had a good point. Sorry to that he's
Okay.
39.
No, you're good. You're good. No, but you know, we've talked about this before. I think at the end of the day, it's the buyer's decision. You know, I guess for me, I don't really feel responsible because I don't really tell people a lot where to buy from. So I'm not really in the same boat as many of you guys are. But at the same time, I'm, you know, if I'm buying or getting into a new, let's say Lego, right? And I'm trying to find another store other than lego.com to buy from. And I hear one person say, you know, buy from Amazon. And, you know, I'm not going to go straight to Amazon or straight to, you know, a local, what is it? Bricks and Minifigs, unless, you know, I hear more than one person say it. I'm, you know, until I hear more about that store or, you know, a better reputation, I'm going to keep buying from lego.com or eBay where they back you up until I can actually, you know, have that faith that my box is going to come in safe and I'm going to be taken care of. So do I think that, you know, influencers or we are responsible? I'm going to say no, because then that's us saying that we're responsible if something goes wrong. And I don't put that on any of us, really. But
yeah, I think you're right. I would just say I don't think you're 100% responsible either, but I do think if you are promoting that on your channel, like saying, you know, buy from here or this is a really good place to buy, I think you should at least feel confident about it, or like I think you got to know, like, I'm putting that out there. So I would want, like, me watching you, I would want you to be trustworthy and steering me in the right way. But
if I'm being sponsored by somebody or you know, each video I'm stating buy from these people or I got mine from this company, you know, that's different. And if that's what you mean, I think they are a little bit more responsible on that end.
Yeah, we got the Thor here. I think at the end of the day, like, it's my responsibility to try to steer you in the right direction. But ultimately, you as an adult, I think you need to take what I'm giving you, do your research, make your decision, and kind of go from there on what works best for you. Just because it works best for me to buy somewhere doesn't mean it works the best for you or whatnot. But at the same time, I think me as a viewer, obviously, I don't want to be misled. So, Optical, what are your thoughts on that? Because I know you are sponsored by Big Bad Toy Store, and you've been doing this for a long time. So what are your thoughts about that?
I'm kind of split on this too. So I'm more like 70-30 or maybe even 60-40, like 60 responsible, 40 not. Because you got to take some sort of responsibility, because whether we like it or not, whether we want to admit it or not, there's some new guy that's overzealous that's going to watch us. Yeah. And we're going to be like, man, I'm going to click on that link and I'm going to pre-order this. So whether we, and I would love, like I said earlier, I would love to think that everyone who watches me would do research first before, you know, getting into. But the thing is, I could have, when there was a trend going on where you need to buy from Hong Kong reseller, otherwise you wouldn't grow. And I didn't grow. Trust me, I didn't. There's channels who went past by me because I just didn't buy into that. I didn't believe that you should do that. So I stuck by my guns, kept on buying here. Even now I'm waiting, you know, and I never really grew because I'm not doing that because I'm a Boy Scout or, you know, I'm the White Knight of collecting. I just really didn't believe that you should buy from Hong Kong to get it day one. Because what's the difference if you get it 3 months ahead of me? At the end of the day, that's going to sit both on our D12 for infinite amount of time. You just paid more. And I just didn't subscribe to that mentality. So I didn't go for it. But whether we want to admit it or not, once you do this, some new guy is going to pop in, gonna like you, gonna buy what you're trying to sell. And to a certain degree, you're kind of responsible for that, whether we want to admit it or not. We influence them. Like I said, even though I want to say that most people that are watching me are adults that can make their own decisions, some are just trigger happy. It's like, oh, you said to buy from here. So it bears some sort of responsibility. Now it's different because we're talking about this in light of Justin and Toys Wonderland. And that I made a comment on Justin's post here. Had there been another influencer, would he get all the blame? Because he's basically the face. Like, if something happens to Big Bad, I'm not the first thing that they pop in their mind, because there are bigger ones than me, like Optibotimus, Artemis Prime. That's probably the first thing that happens. But with him, he is the face, whether he likes it or not. It's like being a quarterback. You get the praise, you also get the blame, whether that's 100% what do you call that, fair or not, justifiable. That's just how it is. Does he bear some of the blame? Sure. Yeah, because I would say he knows some of these are happening 3 years ago. It wasn't a secret. And he chose to do that, maybe thinking that they would change. I don't know. But there is some responsibility to it. I mean, I don't think we can wash our hands completely to it, but there is, unfortunately.
I agree, like partial, but you obviously can't blame me for what your decision is. But like Evil Sneaker says, someone's purchasing tendencies aren't the influencer's responsibility. People got to have self-control. DLO, what do you think about that, or the topic in general?
Terrific,
it's a slippery slope.
Like I'm listening to Optical. I'm nodding my head like, it's very true, and I'm listening to what you guys have said too. And no one's been wrong to any extent that it's here, but it's just like I keep playing this example in my head here because we're putting it on the shoulders of one person because, quote unquote, we've deemed him the face of that company, right? And obviously it's been a known issue for a very long time. But I just say to myself here because, I watch the reviews and one thing to Justin specifically for a second here is to say he's very careful with how he positions Toys Wonderland in his videos. I got mine from Toys Wonderland. Right, he doesn't say go buy it from Toys Wonderland. So he's very careful on how he says that because I think it's a clear distinction with what he's telling you and what you're doing with that information. Right. True. Whether it be subliminal or not, that is how it's done specifically for protection reasons there. Now, having said that, obviously it's because our community is very vocal and obviously, well, we're not afraid to tell you how we feel if something. So you tell us something and you do it and something happens, right? So I just think of a scenario here. I think about celebrities. I think about athletes, people who get sponsorships and how these scenarios play out here. I mean, let's say you had a celebrity, for example, who backed up a dealership, right? And says, I buy my cars from Billy Bob's Ford dealership, etc., whatever it may be, right? And you go to that dealership, you buy a car, and you walk out of that dealership and you get a lemon. Is it the celebrity's fault that he buys his there from that dealership, or is it the dealership's fault that sold you that lemon?
Right.
And that's what it comes down to there.
Yeah, it can't be to blame for that kind of stuff.
Right. Because if you insert Justin's name into that scenario there, and you insert Toys Wonderland as the dealership, and the dealership sells you that lemon, is it Justin's fault or is it Toys Wonderland's fault? Because at the end of the day, it is Toys Wonderland. But I understand that because Justin is who he is to us in the community here. We do want to point the finger at that person because, we feel like if he's going to back up this company, then at the same time, it's partially his responsibility. But where does our responsibility begin? I mean, Again, Justin doesn't have your credit card information, guys. He has no idea what your PayPal information is. I mean, he doesn't hit the submit button. We do. So, there's enough blame to go around. All right. In fairness to the point. And again, this is not a secret. This is something that's been going on for many, many years. So, part of this, at least customers who have experience here, I'm not going to speak to the customers who've seen a video for the first time and heard that and said, oh, let me go buy from them. But for everybody else, what is our excuses? What is for the collector who's in the groups, who's on Facebook and Instagram and watches hundreds of hours of YouTube videos with 1/6 influencers here who talk about this on a regular basis? What is that person's excuse? Do you justify and say, well, because I live in this market, it's cheaper for me to buy from them than from Sideshow? Okay, well, then at that point, you're admitting some partial responsibility there because you understood the risk, you took it, and now you're coming back and complaining about it. Now, I'm not saying you're not wrong for being upset. I'm saying you're wrong for making the purchase and expecting nothing. If something didn't happen, it's not going to be any of my fault at all. Now, as far as for everything else that's a concern here, I mean, we can't change the past of this here. It is what it is. We've gone through the Toys Wonderland era. The question is now, if another company pops up, Comic Sanctorium or whatever it is here, our customers of these companies here, are they going to go ahead and repeat the same mistake? And if we do, whose fault is it then?
Right.
Yeah. I'm just going to butt into DLO's point here. I I get and I said that last night. Like, if Nike delivers a shoe and it's bad, you don't go to Jordan. Like, Jordan, what happened? However, this is a different scenario, though. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Justin Bieber endorsed a debit card that supposedly build your credit. The consumers didn't know that this debit card is charging a monthly fee and kind of eating it's supposedly for kids. So that was a bad product or a bad service to begin with. Maybe they didn't really do the terms. It was presented as you would build your credit if you are a young guy, but in reality, it's kind of like Acorns. Are you guys familiar with Acorns or something? The one where you need to spend $3,000 on your debit card to even break even for that, right? So it's not really, you're investing here. You're just taking your money basically. So it is different than Nike being sponsored by Jordan and Justin Bieber sponsoring something that he knows, or maybe he doesn't know. Well, he should have known that it's doing something bad. Right. So I guess as influencer, that's where you kind of draw the line. And Breda knows this. We were kind of like working with 1-6 Corner before. Didn't really like how they operate things. Cut ties with them. I don't know if he did. I think that's where the moral dilemma / your reputation is on the line. Kind of like, I'm getting a good deal, but I don't know about that. So that's where you draw the line, and I think that's where the responsibility kind of kicks in to a degree.
It's just one of those things where, like I said, I mean, listen to all you guys here. I can't disagree with anything anybody said here. We're all kind of putting our spin on what our feelings about the breakdown.
I think it's subjective.
It really is.
I think, and I'm a YouTuber, and I try not to push anything with my fans. I really do look at myself as just part of the congregation that really is just along this journey with you guys, letting you know where I got it from. And just trying to be a positive part of the community, because I think we have enough negativity where people shit talk about others, and it's just, there's not room for that. Like, what good is it doing? So how can we help the community? So that's what we try to do. But at the same time, if I am going to promote something or say I got this from here, I would like it to be a good company, because I don't want people up my ass about having problems with where they're buying it. Sure. So really quick, shout out to 6 Scale Mafia in the house. What is going on, my friend? He says, sup, guys. I think always watch multiple videos, do your own research to make the most educated decision. The simple answer is don't buy something if you don't like it. However, you are absolutely responsible for sending people to shit sellers. So again, I think it's subjective. Like, I can't help it if you have a bad experience somewhere. However, if I know this company is shady, how can I morally be sending you to this company to buy it? Then again, am I sending them to you if I'm just letting you know where I bought it? Kind of a gray area that
very gray.
Ultimately,
very gray. Well said.
Ultimately, you can't figure it all out. So I think Mafia is right at the end of the day, and Rob is right too. You're all right, but we have to do our own research, talk to the community, look at what the reviews are for the company before you buy. Weigh your options there, because there is no black and white answer to this, unfortunately. So
yeah. And another thing too is, if I watch a video and somebody says, hey, I got mine from here, or you should get yours from this place because it's where I got mine, it's it's kind of like if a friend told me, like, hey, go to this website. If one of you guys told me to go to Sideshow or Pop Collectibles or whatever, and I bought from them and it went to hell, I'd be upset with the company. I wouldn't be upset with the guy saying on a YouTube channel, I'd probably be like, that company sucks. Like, I wouldn't be mad at, like, if I watched a video of Justin's and bought from Toys Wonderland because he said he bought his from there, and Toys Wonderland screwed me, I wouldn't be upset with Justin. I'd be upset with Toys Wonderland. So at the end of the day, it kind of correlates to, you make your own decision. But I don't know. It's a crazy world these days.
You would hope everybody's got your best interest. I still like to hope that, but at the same time, it's just not always the case. So
it's business.
It is. It is business.
It's like the NFL, man.
Cold world out there, boys.
You're your quarterback now. They'll trade you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They'll trade you to Dallas for nothing.
Treated Baker Mayfield like shit. I can tell you that. But I won't get into that.
Please, no Baker Mayfield talk tonight. All right, guys.
Justin Herbert's the new Baker Mayfield.
No,
ouch, no way, never.
that.
Oh yeah,
that is.
He had a good first. He had a good first
Don't
year.
fall for the bait, Graham. He's poking the bear.
He had a good first rookie year, just like Mayfield, and his second year kind of went downhill.
He was not terrible last year. Plus, he played with broken ribs.
Well, Mayfield wasn't terrible his second year either, and he played with a broken shoulder.
All right, so Kate Bishop is the next figure we're going to be talking about here. She was officially released. I'm not sure how I feel about this, being as I wasn't a big fan of the show. It was okay. I want to get the guys' insight on how they feel with no Hawkeye. How is she going to look in your display? Is there a spot for her in your display? And Brick, I'm going to start with you, and we're going to work our way down. Initial thoughts on this release of Kate Bishop, because I know you were thinking about pulling the trigger on this, so kind of want to see where you're at with that.
Yeah, I like her. It would be a lot easier if we had a Hawkeye here, from the TV show. But it would also be easier for me to pull the trigger on this one if she came with either a second head sculpt, or if they're going to have that bandage on her chin, at least dirty her up more and be more accurate to the show with the bloody nose and the black eye. Go all in with this head sculpt. I do think I like the outfit. I'm not seeing what's her Haley Steinfeld, right?
Yep.
All the way.
Steinfeld, yep.
It's not perfect for me. I'd give this head sculpt probably like a 7.5 or so. But if they lost the bandage at the chin, I would definitely be more inclined to buy this figure with the Hawkeye. And I do. I think Hawkeye's coming. I think Hawkeye is going to come eventually. I don't think they're just going to skip out on him. I know it kind of seems like he's not going to come at all because of the show didn't do the best, and it's been a while now. But I still think he comes. But kind of doing it this way might make some sense for Hot Toys to do it this way, to come out with her first so people buy her. But I do wish we had a second head sculpt, or they went all in with the battle damage.
You're crazy, man. You're crazy. I like you, but you're crazy.
Okay.
Bold take. I'm on the other side of the fence. I don't think Hawkeye's coming, but okay. I think it's been too long. I think the show is too cold. But we've been surprised before. DLO, what do you think? Do you think Hawkeye is still coming?
No. That ship is sailed. It's over. No, absolutely not. You'll probably get a 2.0 of Hawkeye from like something else, but it's not coming to this anymore. The show didn't do great. Disney's not doing great. Why would they release another Hawkeye right now when you can still get Hawkeye from Endgame for half the price of what it was at retail? No, it's not coming out. Not anytime soon. Maybe never, but definitely not soon or ever. I don't know. This figure is mid. This figure is mid. I don't like it for all the older folks. That means it's okay. It's not great. There's some semblance to her. What
do you think of this?
I think it's the dumbest addition to a face sculpt I've ever seen in Hot Toys history. Why?
It's such an eyesore for me. I mean, I get it. It's screen accurate, but but
if you're going to be screen accurate with the bandage, you got to go all out with the battle damage. Like I was saying, you have to go with the bloody nose, the black eye. You can't just have that.
The problem thing is it brings too much attention to itself in a bad way.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, you're looking at the sculpt and you're like, what the hell's on her face? And you think you could rub it off. Oh no, that was actual choice. Okay. Not my first call, but whatever. It's okay. It's a good first try. The one thing that bugs me out here is not so much, I mean, that stinks, but it's the eyes. Haley has brown eyes and she has blue eyes on the show. And so it really, sometimes this changes someone's eye color can really throw off a likeness to somebody. And for her, the blue eyes, it almost makes it look like she has no soul behind them. So for me, it feels like she's like kind of staring into the abyss. So You know, I mean, the tailoring looks good. The suit looks nice. I like it there, but you know, I have some concerns about this one during the prototype phase, and it doesn't look like it changed much from there. So for me, if you're a fan, great. For me personally, it's a pass. I'll probably wait when she has like another edition of her for a different suit, and maybe she fixes that Band-Aid situation there.
I actually like the outfit. I like the purple color with the dark pants. I think she looks good as a figure. I agree, though, the eyes are off. I think the rest of the portrait is nice. And obviously that, I think Ben Thomas said she cut herself shaving. You know, that's very unfortunate for the figure because, yes, definitely is an eyesore. Brick and DLO mentioned it. But looking at the figure aesthetically outside of the eyes, it looks like she's almost getting ready to cry. I think the figure itself looks good, but this is definitely going to be a pass for me. Optical, I think the question for you is not are you getting her, but how many?
A minimum of 2. Because the first one's going to be broken. I'm going to do a Fison swap.
Damn. That's going to be nice.
And, you know, I'll be off the grid for a few days and come back 5 pounds lighter. Because I was off the grid, so I can't eat, you know. So.
Yeah, right. First, I didn't know where you're going with that, but then I thought I wasn't sure if you could say it, but you did. Yeah, that's funny. That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Off the grid, so not eating well. No, I think it looks good. I mean, it's just not good enough for me to even consider it. Like I would put this next to my Sylvie, and if I have to display this, I'm going to put this to my Sylvie and Yelena. That would be a good combo. You know, the good thing is I don't have either of those, and I will never have either of those. So I will never have her. So,
and this was your favorite Marvel show, right? Optical. If I remember correctly,
it was Moon Knight. When that was funny when we talked about that, and I kind of asked myself again. I was just like, is Moon Knight? I'm not saying Moon Knight is that good.
Made you question it?
Yeah, it was just there's not a whole lot of selection. So I was folding the other day. I was like, let me watch. Because somebody said Falcon and Winter Soldier. So I was like, let me rewatch that again. And I've been rewatching it while I'm doing something, you know, like folding clothes or whatever on the iPad. And I was just like, all right, the first 4 episodes is not bad. I knew the ending, you know, like towards the end, I was just, this didn't make sense. But at least the first 4 episodes was pretty good enough. So it kind of bumped up. But then again, it's like, I don't know, man. It's just searching on the bargain bin here. It's just like, all right, this looks better. But again, like if you talk about phase 1 to 3, you're either going to talk about Endgame, Infinity War, maybe Winter Soldier. You know, those are the 3 that floats around. It's consensus. In here, it's like all over the place. It's like, no, I like Hawkeye. I like this. So, you know, it's like you have too many quarterbacks. You don't have a quarterback.
But question, guys, if anybody who's looking at these photos while Graham is scrolling here, is it just me, or I mean, am I losing my marbles here? But does it look like to me like she's blind? Like the way she from pose to pose.
Eyes are very glossed over. Yeah, where I thought she was like going to cry.
Scroll through your photos again real quick. This trust me on this here, because I'm watching you while Optical was talking. Look at that. Does she look like she's really looking at her arrow through her bow to aim at something?
That stare.
Look at that. Like that's what I'm talking about there. No, look. What about that?
Yeah.
What are you staring at?
She would have benefited, or the likeness would benefit from rolling eyeball, or would that make it worse?
I think it made it make it worse.
I mean, it's the color of the eye. It's not so much.
Then you get the gap between the plastic eye.
I hate that though too.
And
it either looks sunken or it looks beady. I'm not a fan of the purrs or the sirs, whatever you want to call it here. But she looks like she's blind.
Do you think it might be like
Daredevil?
Maybe in hand, she looks a lot better.
I mean, she looks fine, but I mean, it's just like it just. I don't know.
Yeah, certain angle she looks fine.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of the hair either, but
I don't mind the hair. I think the hair's done. I think it's sculpted really well. The bangs in the front, the ponytail in the back. I think it looks really good. Proportions look fantastic.
Like about it, Brick?
I don't know. Just I don't like the shading, the paint application on it. I guess it just falls a little flat for me.
Sure,
but you know, I think they did it right with the bangs in the front. That's how she was in the show. But it just, I don't know. I just don't think it looks exactly like the actress, and I don't know.
So
something wrong with it.
Let's just say if Hawkeye was coming out around the same time as her, he's already announced coming out too. Would that change your guys' mind to pair together? Would you then maybe be more into this, or still no? So just yes or no. Brick.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a no right now, but it leaning more no right now. But if Hawkeye was announced, let's say within the next couple weeks, I'd change my mind. But if that happens, you know,
Well,
is it going to be?
I'm just saying. So hypothetically, Hawkeye's been announced. He's coming out as well. Would that change your mind on getting her?
Yeah, it would.
You done want her? How about you, DLO?
I'd more so, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't get influenced by influencers there, so the answer is no. I don't care if you tell me it's there. I'm not gonna buy it. Still, I'll wait for the next one. You see me, self-control, guys. That's how you do it.
That's how he does it.
That's how you block. That's how you block an influencer.
I don't
from
have
influencing you.
self-control, but
Well, you're a Bears fan, so yeah, it makes sense.
I easily give.
It's gone from 2 to 3 at this point for poor Optic over there, who's been quiet for way too long.
No, they can release Kingpin all they want with Hawkeye and Yelena. Still not going to get this. So.
Okay.
Or those guys.
So she's waitlisted on Sideshow, correct?
Yep.
Any chance we see her come
everywhere
in
else.
stock?
No, it's going to be tons of lucky guys who suddenly get conversions out of nowhere because they just found a fresh batch they completely forgot about. No.
Very good. Any final thoughts on this thing? Very good. Let's yeah, the Thor says mole. Just hard to not look at that thing. Mike, not really sure what mid means, but DLO did explain it, so I think we're good now.
Google it.
Yeah, Ben likes that she can pull off the drawn bow pose, though. Very good. We got mid CU, touche. Props to you, Bones.
Well played.
Graham says she looks like she's ready to cry. Just ruined it for me. You're welcome. 16 Fix says this show is underrated in my opinion. You are not allowed to have an opinion, but thank you. Same to you, Evil Sneaker. No, I'm just kidding. Can't unsee it now. She's a baddie, no doubt, but pass. Yeah. See here. All right. So that was just one of the figures. It was like a Marvel week because we also had Doc Ock, which I think is also getting kind of a lot of attention for this head sculpt. Do you guys, I mean, I didn't see a whole lot of updating. And again, that could just be my old eyes, but I didn't see a whole lot of updating from their first initial prototype photos where they said, the head sculpt is a work in progress. They never showed us any, like updates or anything like that. They just kind of came out with them here. I think he looks decent, with the glasses on, but I think without the glasses, he still looks a little off. But I'm also not the most hardcore MCU or Spider-Man fan, I guess. But optical, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, he's pretty badass with all of the additions and everything with those arms.
Yeah, I mean,
are you in on that? Are you
for sure?
You're in. Okay.
I don't even pre-order anymore, but I pre-ordered this guy.
That's saying something.
I mean, the other option is not having it. So either not having it or going to the Toys Era one. So, I mean, honestly, because if anyone has watched my review, I do the transition from the actual face to this, and I already have a picture, and it's hard. It's a questionable decision to get this expression, and it's hard to get a picture with this expression, but I did find one, and I kind of tried that transition. And I was just like, you know what? It's not that far off. It's not the most, I would say, it's not flattering. So it just looked, I mean, we're talking about Alfred Molina is not Brad Pitt. So I don't know what they're expecting here.
That's true.
So he's kind of creepy, and he's trying to be creepy here, like that kind of maniacal smile or whatever. And I found a picture that kind of like this. I kind of did the transition, saving it for the video that I'm gonna do. But I was just like, all right, it's not the 10, but it's not that far off. So every collector has a choice. It's kind of expensive. This is what, like, almost, I would say $400 out the door. The Toys Era one was around 300 something, maybe, or close to 300. You can't tell, as bad as this is, like, if you really think that the face sculpt is that bad, you can't tell me that the Toys Era one is that much better than this. Like that is better. I just refuse to accept that. Now, you can choices not to own it. Which is pretty cool. Would it go on sale if you're gonna go that route? It's like I'm not gonna pick it up. It has 2 SKUs. Maybe it'll go on sale if I go to 320, or maybe 250. I'll get it. That's fair. But you also run the risk with how the trend is now. You also run the risk of maybe not getting it. So it is a risk which I'm just not willing to take. So I was just like, you know what? I can play around with the face. That's all right. I'll put the glasses on. Overall, it's fine. I'm excited for this. Like this, No Way Home is one of those movies that I'm still kind of clinging on. That's the last movie that I've seen that is kind of inspiring. So yeah, this is no-brainer, like a pre-order for me.
I gotta say, this is definitely not something on my radar or something that I'm going to get. It's not, just in my wheelhouse, but a simple pose like this, and it just looks really badass. You got the tentacle arms, behind him, and there's just this kind of like simple power pose. Looks really good. Sneaker was saying in the chat actually that they should have went with a non-smiling face, which is him the majority of the time. But the more I see this, the more I kind of like the smile look, because it's different, and this is kind of how I remember Doc Ock, is more of like that. Like you said, he's kind of got like this unique look to him, and the smile is unique as well. So, the coat looks great. The tailoring looks good in my opinion. The glasses, I think, definitely help the head sculpt. I think it's decent. But for anybody that wants to get this, props to you, because it does look pretty badass. So, DLO,
sure,
you getting this?
Absolutely.
Look at that.
Absolutely, 100%.
I'm going to be the odd man out here.
No, well, you are odd and a man, so that makes sense. That works for you there. You pull that off very well. Yes, the word of the day is mid, and that's what I would describe as head as well too. But I'll go a step further here. Another phrase for you guys today: butterface. Everything looks good from the head down, boys. But that head sculpt, it's a bit rough on the eyes. But it is, I would say, it's definitely better than the third-party version there for sure. Doc Ock is one of my favorite Spider-Man villains. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Spider-Man 2. That is my jam. I can watch that anytime it comes on air. So I got to get this. You got to represent my man. But what I plan on doing is, I'm not sure if you guys have seen this, but there is a custom sculpt by V Collectibles that has a different Alfred Molina head sculpt that doesn't have that expression. It looks perfect. It looks like exactly what we should have got in the box here. So I'm considering picking this up and possibly getting that head sculpt and putting it on this here, because I think that would make it the absolute, yes, Mike, butter mid. Very good, Mike. But I think that's what I want to do. I mean, everything else here, I don't have complaints. It's, the tentacles look fantastic. The posability, the bend on those look really good. I can definitely see collectors getting some really good photos out of it, just because it seems like it's going to be very easy to get into dynamic poses there. The tailoring looks very good. I mean, what's there to say about it? If you're a Spider-Man fan and you like Doc Ock, it's a no-brainer. Even if it means that you're not in love with the head sculpt, the chances of getting another one are so slim, unless they decide to go back in the well and maybe decide to do Spider-Man 2 line for the originals and start giving us Toby from that movie and Doc from that movie. Might be your only chance to get one. So, yeah, I mean, if this is your focus, I still say pick it up. That's why I'm going fit there, because if I need to make changes and get a head sculpt, there's companies out there like I want it. So I'm gonna go all in on this one and pick this one up for sure.
No, and like I said, this is really good for Marvel fans, for Spider-Man fans that have been waiting for a Hot Toys Doc Ock for so long. I just hope, some of you saying mid, I just hope some people aren't let down with this. But I also think this is your chance to have this piece in your collection. So I think people are going to want it. Brick, I know you're getting this. I know you're a huge Spider-Man fan. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you to have this thing come home?
Oh, man. I would say about a 9. I'm really excited for this one. I think he looks great. I love how both jackets are wired. You can make it look really nice, the posability on this thing. And I'm gonna be the odd man out. I think he looks better without the glasses. I think the glasses.
Interesting. I was going to ask you because again, you're the big like original trilogy Spider-Man fan. We both watched No Way Home, but my question was, do you see yourself posing him? Yeah, again, with glasses on, without. I think for me, it'd be with glasses on, but you say glasses off. Why?
I would say with glasses off. Now, I don't think he looks amazing with them off. I think they could have done much better.
He's respectable.
Yeah. But I think the glasses just don't really fit well on him. I don't know. Hot Toys might have an issue with doing glasses or what, but I just don't think. I think they look kind of cheap on him, and it looks kind of wonky. It looks like they don't really sit right, in my opinion. So with them off, maybe him holding it in his hand or just completely off the table in general, like I think he looks better seeing his eyes. So and that I think that to me. I think that's the best thing on him, on his face, his portrait, are his eyes. I think the smile is a little weird. I think parts of him is off, but the eyes look good to me. So
honestly, I think it's actually a solid figure, and maybe it's because I didn't really pay much attention to it because again, not on my radar. But it doesn't look terrible. I mean, these tentacles are like badass too. Look at these paint applications with the weathering going on here, and obviously they're going to be wired and able to articulate, which is awesome. I mean, a lot of cool stuff that you're going to be able to do with this. Do you guys think the price point is fair for what you're getting? Optical, you think it's a fair price?
How much is it? It's the regular figure is what, like 300 nowadays, maybe 285, and you put in those tentacles in his back, and it's Spider-Man too. Like they're always having an extra price on them. So how would I want it a bit cheaper? Sure. Maybe 350 would be. How much is this anyway? Is it 340?
I think it was 365.
The deluxe, right?
The deluxe was yes.
The deluxe is one of those deluxe where you don't really need it.
Right. It just comes with the red tentacles or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I bought the deluxe just in case I break the tentacles. Same. I kind of like, hey, it's $20 difference if I break one, so at least I can just swap it out. But if you want to save a little bit, but it's $20 though, so it's not that big of a deal. I'd rather have a spare just in case. So I mean, at 360, it's better than Thor, I would say, like the value wise and what you're getting. So it's I guess if you put it that way, could it be 320? Sure, but
298 at Toys Wonderland.
There you go, Jazzy. Putting some promotion out there. So
$200. Careful. We'll find you, Jazzy. You're next.
Yeah.
But the Spider-Man line came out at a weird time where Hot Toys was kind of like looking at a dartboard and kind of just throwing and see what prices they wanted, because during that time, like that was like when they were really like jacking up prices, and then it kind of calmed down with more recent releases. I mean, I will never get over Cobb Vamp being over $300. That's still a crime to this day, but it is what it is. But I mean, how do you argue with this here? Because they kind of got you by the what's right, because this is iconic. This is Spider-Man. This is Doc Ock. I mean, it's very hard to pass on this. I mean, even if this is not your focus and you're a Star Wars guy or DC guy, you recognize Doc Ock as being an awesome character, right? Just because you kind of grew up with him there. So I think they kind of played around with the gamble and, took a chance on going high. And I normally would say that would deter collectors from picking up this figure, but I just think it's too hard to pass this up here if you're a fan. Like, it's really hard. So, and it kind of shows it because it's been sold out on Sideshow for a very long time now. And, it looks like it's kind of drying up on the other sites as well too. So, this might be a real one for all we know. Cause I know I always tell you guys, I don't believe this stuff, but something like a Doc Ock may be something that collectors are willing to pay the money for just because they love that character so much. And this will probably be the only chance we might have at this one.
Brick, I want you to be brutally honest here. I don't want you to sugarcoat it. Can you see a reason to get the non-deluxe? Or do you think you got to go all out and get the deluxe for this thing?
I mean, I think it's what Optical said. I mean, for what, $20-25 more? Why not? I don't think you need to. I guess I'm sugarcoating it now.
Non-deluxe doesn't come with the tentacles, right?
No, they both come with tentacles. It's just that the deluxe comes with the red tentacles as well. So you get 8.
Okay. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying for the price. Then why not?
Yeah, you might as well.
Here's what DLO sent me. So this is the head sculpt that you're gonna go with.
I think so. I'm digging this.
What do you guys in the chat think? Which one do you like better, Hot Toys or this one here? It's from V Collectibles.
I don't like the hair, but I like.
Oh, guys, full disclosure, I am not sponsored by V Collectibles. Just so
thank you.
Influencing people.
I'm trying.
Yeah,
people keep telling me in chat I'm influencing them. I'm trying not to.
No,
this is harder than I thought it was going to be.
I think this is mid.
Wow.
I'll get this
tomorrow. Next episode.
Add
the true definition of mid.
I want
brick.
That. I want that. Late night. 2.0. That's awesome.
Wow.
How the turntables have twisted.
Sick office reference, bro. Sick off reference.
Really quick, we got let me see here. Yomo in the house. Hello, my friend. Thank you for being here. And we got Collector Joey here, good friend of the channel, with a super chat. Take off them jerseys. Oh, you don't want to see what's under here, buddy.
It's for OnlyFans.
Yes,
Cowboys
you got to pay extra. That would be like a $5 super chat. So you're at $1.99. Actually, I'm going to say 10 because No, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. For anybody that doesn't know, Joey is a Jerry Jones fan. So down there in old Texas, loves himself some Jerry.
You have the Cowboys. Interesting.
Is she the one who drafted Drac at the 3rd round? Or
Probably
did.
Yeah,
Wouldn't surprise me. Someone looked at Collector Joey's lineup. I got to double check it there. You might be right.
CeeDee Lamb.
Even in the first round, I guess. He's proud. He says Jerry Lover over here. Very good. Thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. Thank you for being here as well. Let's see here. Just see what you guys are saying. Jesus, DLO. Making too much sense.
I'm trying, but it's just like I said, it's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Jeez.
Yeah, Jazzy's got a good idea here too. He says, deluxe, use the extra tentacles as a diorama. Deluxe
they're gonna
always be influenced by everyone.
Do you guys know if they're going to be a lot like the integrated Spider-Man diorama? Are they just like that, the tentacles, or?
I would assume so. Yeah.
I would assume so. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Sounds like an easy way to save money for Hot Toys, so I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sticking with the Hot Toys head sculpt, I'm good with the figure overall. Yeah, I mean, I think I am too. Obviously, I wasn't really. I mean, I'm still not really into it, but that's just because it's just not my cup of tea. But I can admit that the figure looks actually pretty good. I think in hand too, it'd probably look even better. I think it's one of those figures where maybe it doesn't photograph the best, or maybe it doesn't video the best, but I think in hand you might be even more surprised. So, yeah. And Sneaker says I prefer non-smiling, but also I like the points you guys made about the smiling one. I think somebody said it in the chat. It just gives it a little bit more life into the character, and it looks different than some of your other figures that you have on the shelf. So
it's that whole scene where he says "Hello, Peter," right? Like "Hello, Peter."
Hello, Peter.
Yeah.
I think would have helped that head sculpt? Better hair. I think they couldn't nail the hair. For me, it's kind of like the same way how I feel about like Bespin Luke and the Mando Luke there. The same head sculpt, different hair. I like the Mando one slightly better than I like the Bespin one. It just feels better there. So I just feel like they had a different hairstyle. I think it would make the head sculpt look better, in my opinion.
Very good. Gosh, I hate to even talk about this stuff because I have no skin in the game. But if you guys want to quickly,
let's go
talk about One Piece.
Finally,
I have no clue. I have no idea. I have no insight. I have no way of influencing anybody.
Add me to the list, Graham.
Are you watching the show?
No.
Are you familiar with this?
I know it's like a anime, right?
Yeah,
that is now an
adaptation of an anime, I guess.
A very, very popular anime.
It looks good though. Like without knowing what the show is about, it looks great. I mean, I know I can hear it now. People are complaining about the joints, but
yeah,
what are you gonna do?
Okay, Optical, we're monetized here, so I'm gonna need you to kind of talk a little bit more about this and start making some shit up because
I mean, it's one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. I mean, this is with Joker when he was younger, and you can see the origin story that he went through. The green hair and all that stuff.
From swords to guns.
Before
His name is Zorro. Is that like?
I think he's a descendant of the great masked Zorro, maybe. And
you guys suck so badly.
DLO, just take it from here. Just tell us.
I bet you there's like that one guy that's been waiting for us all night to finally talk about this, and we shit on it. I'm sorry to you, sir. They don't speak for me. They don't speak for me.
I'm with you. Not what we do.
Look at those veins in that arm.
Man, that's it. He only has veins on one arm. I'm assuming he's left-handed.
Oh my God.
Oh man, that's true.
Joke's on you. He's ambidextrous. Let's go.
Oh man.
This is like, listen, I get it. This is not going to be all of our cup of teas, but we should at least cover a little bit of it there for somebody who is
not one of the big three, right? So gotta be happy about that. It's different. Yeah, it's not Marvel. It's not DC.
That's true. Yeah, it is a different IP. So, that's a fair point for sure.
Different IP.
I mean, listen, I've never watched the One
What's
Piece.
He doing?
Oh, there's story to that.
That's where the other one goes.
So, like, you sick fuck.
That's what they say in the show.
Okay. I'm trying to
put a long sword in his mouth.
Be serious in this one here. Jeez. Unprofessional. This is what I got to work with, guys.
White sword.
I've never seen the anime. I've been watching this with my son. He's a big fan of it, so I'm watching it to support him there. So, yeah, my kid, he likes this show. No, he really does. I don't get it yet, but the characters are really cool. I think the guy, I think what's his name, Luffy. I think is the guy's name with the straw hat on. Not Loki. Luffy. Yes.
Yep.
The actors are really good. They're fun. It's a charming show. It's definitely more for kids than for us, if I'm being honest. And people who are fans of the anime. Likeness wise, they look like the actors that are playing these characters.
It's good.
Other than that, I think the Zorro one is probably my favorite of the two there, just because aesthetically, I just like it's badass. He's got 3 swords. Don't like where he puts the third one. That doesn't seem sanitary, but I mean, that's my own personal opinion on that. But I think overall, I'm really enjoying the season. I'm not at the halfway point with my son. We're probably going to watch another episode tomorrow, but this is going to be a neat one here because again, it's not Batman, it's not Iron Man, it's not Luke Skywalker, it's something different, and I'm always going to support different for the hobby here because at least it's more effort than Hot Toys normally puts in. So I will give them credit where credit's due. May not be exactly for me, but I dig the fact that they're trying something new, and I hope this gets support so we can get other IPs in the future. That's always what I'm going to say about stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I'm happy because my wallet's safe. But Brick,
I mean,
yourself getting this?
Not really, but I wouldn't be surprised if I do last minute. I'm a kind of a mid fan of anime, so I like my Naruto, Dragon Ball. I like Attack on Titan. I know of One Piece, and I know it's very popular. And when they came out with the Netflix show, goodness gracious, when they came out with the One Piece show on Netflix live action, and they came out with these figures, I was like, what are they doing? Like, this is like live action never works with anime. When they go from anime to live action, it never works. And I thought, Hot Toys,
Dragon Ball.
I thought Hot Toys was like, this was a joke. And they came out with these figures, and I started watching the show. One episode in, and I'm actually really surprised. It's actually pretty decent. And I think that these figures look really great. I think they look really good. The guy on the left, Luffy, the guy that plays him, I'm sorry, I dropped something there. He kind of reminds me a little bit of the guy that played Jeffrey Dahmer. So I can't get that out of my head when I watch this. But it's a pretty good show. And yeah, I mean, come on, the mouth. It's there.
Fun.
Yeah, but yeah, I can't really see myself getting these, but I'm like 30%.
Is he like stretchy?
You never know. Yeah, that's his power. He like a devil fruit or something, and he can
do
stretch
that when you eat devil fruit.
Yeah,
it might be hard to pose in your DTOF.
My wife's looking for devil fruit right now. shopping at Target.
Too much.
Let's go chill. We're a family show.
Jeez. Imagine you stretch that long. Jesus.
Oh man.
I can't tell if like people are being sarcastic or not, but Joey says he paid his off, so could
you
be.
never know.
Bones says God could have made so many better figures.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Oh my gosh.
You know, Ben wants to know where RoboCop and Peacemaker are. You know, RoboCop, we got those leaked photos a week ago.
Yeah.
Psych. JK.
Yeah, I saw a comment on one of the Facebook posts showing Doc Ock, and somebody said, "This isn't RoboCop," because we all thought he was coming.
Yeah, that RoboCop needs to get out here. Actually, that RoboCop could take a little bit more time to come out, but Big Dog Pound is got some hot takes here. He says One Piece is greater than the DCEU.
Anime fans they're
passionate for sure.
Oh yeah.
But you know, I'm not an anime hater. It's just like I haven't kept up with the animes here. Like for me, growing up, like my favorite one is obviously Dragon Ball, right? That's the GOAT, no doubt about it. There, right? And then like I went through like a phase, like when I was watching Dragon Ball, like I think it was a Cartoon Network. They called it like Toonami back in the day. You guys remember Toonami? Well, yeah, that's where you had like the anime hour and stuff like that. So I watched.
Yep.
My favorite ones are going to be Cowboy Bebop, which they totally could have made figures for that one. I would have bought
for sure.
Outlaw Star. Not many. I don't know if everybody remembers that one. And then
that one.
Big O. Those are my favorite ones that I had. And then I just stopped watching.
Not a Naruto fan, huh?
My son is. Dude. But to me, I feel like that's fake Dragon Ball. So I refuse to acknowledge that because he won't watch Dragon Ball, but he watches that, and it's just like Dragon Ball.
Gotcha.
Keep talking, because trying to find this third-party Yoda.
Speaking of Dragon Ball, that last movie was pretty good.
Yes, it was.
So, but yeah, who speaking of that Yoda, who's making that Yoda? That third party?
I don't even remember. You got anybody know in the chat or where I can find it? OSK. Oh, 16 kid, it's on. Okay. We don't need dead air here, so
Mike, Death Note was cool. I did watch it. I watched the Netflix adaptation. That wasn't too bad. But the anime is definitely better for Death Note.
Yeah. I'm kind of with Mike here too. I think we're gonna get some Ahsoka figure announcements very soon.
It's dry, man.
Yeah, I thought maybe we would wake up to something this morning.
Yeah.
Let's just kind of go right into that without spoilers. Optical, you watching Ahsoka?
I haven't seen the latest one, but I have been.
Okay.
I've been
best
watching
episode so far.
Well, without spoiling anything, what do you guys think of the latest episode? And then I guess Optical, what do you just think so far going into it?
It's okay, you know, like I'm new to Star Wars, like getting into it, you know. I watched it, but I wasn't really into it.
Sure.
I'm still not into it completely, but I've been watching it and it's okay so far. To be fair, nothing I found Kenobi okay, you know, I wasn't mad about it. I found Boba okay. I wasn't mad about it. Maybe because it wasn't my thing growing up, so I wasn't completely mad, because a lot of people are saying they ruined Boba and all that. I didn't feel that way because I didn't grow up liking Boba, so to me it was just like, all right, you know. So I don't have a deep connection with them, but it's entertaining. That is what my kids are watching. They're being introduced to that. They watch the older Star Wars. I don't know if they really even paid attention, you know. It was just so long for them. What this episode, I guess, is good for kids, and I guess that's gonna be there. Episode 4 to 6, you know, I don't know, but so far this is okay. It's okay. I'm enjoying it.
What's your number one? Is it DC or is it Marvel?
DC.
I knew I liked you.
Good man.
Yeah.
I think you'll like episode 4 a lot. A lot of really good stuff happens. I think it's the best episode so far. To me, they've all gotten a little bit better as we've gone on, and the story's really starting to pick up. So. Brick, DLO, what are you guys thinking so far? You liking it?
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it, man. You know, it's not the greatest Star Wars of all time, but it's definitely getting better and better, like you said, Graham. You know, it's definitely, this episode opens up a lot. Really excited to see what's going to happen next, and without spoiling anything, and looking forward more so to these figures popping out. Need me a Hera. Need that.
Shocker.
Shocker.
I think a lot of people.
Doesn't they announce the figures like 6 months or a few months after the show ended, though? I think they're being consistent.
They tend to be slower.
Yeah,
they tend to be slower. Like
they wait till the show ends, and then you'll see a few months later the announcement. So
I mean, I forgot when Mando season 3 ended at this point, but we just got the Praetorian Guard announcement.
Fair enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Not too long ago, and it was a while. It's a while between there. So I hope that's not a continued trend there, because the longer it takes to announce it, the longer it takes to get to my collection. So on these I want a Sabine. I can't wait. I don't know why that hasn't been officially.
Well, that's the thing. They tease Sabine, so you would hope. It makes you kind of think that we'll get something.
Yeah. Hopefully, when we go to sleep tonight, we wake up some good news.
Yeah, I mean, knowing our luck, it'll come tonight. But I definitely think. I think they're going to make.
Chopper. I want Chopper more.
I think they're going to make most of them. I think we're going to get the Ahsoka variant, if you will, the different outfit. I think we're going to get
Dragon Ball Z,
Sabine,
Ahsoka.
obviously. I think we're going to get Wu-Tang, Chopper.
We'll get the Shin Hati and Balin. We'll get those two.
Balin would be awesome. I'm really
It's like a good figure. Like translating the figure.
I don't know.
If you're going to get Shin, you'll get Balin.
That's like a menacing Count Dooku archetype kind of guy there. Like you need a good Sith there, because there's not enough Sith to really go around in the collection.
And he's done a great job with that.
Do they have to deal with this estate then, or
I imagine they do.
Yeah,
but I mean, he wasn't that big of an actor, so I don't think it would be hard to get the license on something like that. So,
that's right. He passed, right?
Yeah, sadly, he passed away before the show. Yeah, but we'll see.
Staying with Star Wars, but changing gears a little bit, I finally was able to find. Basically, it's this Attack of the Clones Yoda, which is a third party. Thank you guys in the chat for helping me find this. This is on 1/6 kit, and it's the Jedi Master Force Elder Deluxe. I have never seen a third party Star Wars figure in my time of collecting.
Sure.
So this is interesting for me. I mean, DLO and Optical, you guys have been around a while. I mean, have you guys seen a lot of third-party Star Wars?
The most recent the Karen, Anakin.
Yeah.
Karen
and Queen Amidala. They have that third party coming out, right?
Queen Amidala.
Oh, that's right. Good call.
They got a kit for Praetorian Guard and Emperor Palpatine. So there's a couple things out there. Before it wasn't any, but you're right.
Okay. What do you guys think of this? I mean, it's Attack of the Clones. It looks like it's a recast, really, from the Hot Toys version. It looks pretty much just like it, but you're getting a second head sculpt where it's like the Force, the eyes are closed and whatnot. Plus, you're getting the chair from the Jedi Council, probably in the deluxe version. Anybody looking at picking this up?
How much is it?
I have my episode 2. It just looks at you. I think you hit in there. Like the first thing I thought it was just the recast of the original there. I mean, I think the coolest thing about it is the chair for Yoda. I think that's the coolest piece to this here. And depending on the price, if it's decent enough, it might be worth it just for that, as just to have the add accessory. But on its own, like it doesn't do anything for me, because I have the Hot Toys one. That's cool, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't think there's enough for me to pull the trigger on this here. But for somebody else, I can see somebody else. Brick, what do you think, man?
Man, is it bad if I say I like it a lot, but I'm not?
No, not at all.
I'm not planning on buying it. He looks great, but if I'm gonna buy Yoda, it's gonna be one of the Hot Toys. But he looks really good.
But what if, I mean, because that one's been long sold out, so you're looking at what, $350 for that? So could you see yourself getting this for $172 and kind of like a consolation prize as to not being able to get that, or would you rather pay the big bucks because it's sold out?
If I was desperate for a Yoda, and if I was an actual collector, Breda, then I would probably I'd probably get them. But I'm not desperate for a Yoda, and when the time comes, I'll get one of the Hot Toys.
Optical.
It looks like the Hot Toys version.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It looks like an exact
like they use
recast.
that. Like I know the Company 12 World, they make a whole lot of diorama pieces for 12 scale and sometimes 1/6 scale. I don't know if this is maybe their first time doing a figure, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But it feels like they took the Hot Toys, take a picture of it, and then it will just kind of like selling it up as their own. If we're getting this exact one, I mean, I guess it's a good deal. I mean, for those who like Brick said, if you are desperate for a Yoda, which I'm not. This is a good substitute, I guess. But I feel like Yoda is not like Doc Ock, where I think we're gonna see another Yoda. Just have to wait. Doc Ock, we might not. Because what can they really improve for Doc Ock? I don't know. They can do the Spider-Man version, I suppose, but that's long far gone. So unlike Yoda, I think we can see him again. If you talk about the price, 172, okay, that's cool. Does that include shipping? Maybe not. I don't know. Because the Yoda before, I don't know how much is it.
Yeah, 1.6 kit always has the shipping included.
Okay, the Yoda was like 180, right? Like back then.
Yeah,
it was 180. The Attack of the Clones was
crazy.
180. So
I remember when I bought that, I thought it was like too expensive. Now today, what does that go for? Like almost over $300 now.
$350 for that one.
Crazy.
Yeah, you could probably find it for even higher if you want.
It's not that far off. You're gonna get the chair, I suppose. That's cool. You know, if you really wanted that, that's a nice addition. I think you got a second head sculpt as well, where he's like he closes his eyes. The value is there. I just don't know if this is the same figure that we're gonna get, because I really feel like this is the Hot Toys one. Like they literally took the Hot Toys, maybe recast the head. I just don't feel like this is what we're gonna get. Like you're gonna get somewhat similar, but the paint application is not that good because they use the Hot Toys one. I feel like
it feels like Hot Toys will make this though. As weird as it, like as the guesses that may be right now, but just like this feels like a random anniversary of something or whatever,
20
or
years
sideshow or San Diego Con exclusive something. It just feels like this will randomly pop up, and it feels like they know that, so they're gonna get theirs out first. I have nothing to base it off other than just a guess, but it just feels like Hot Toys would make this, right? I mean, it makes enough sense. They already have the figure. They just need the chair.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? I agree with Optical. I think there's going to be more Yodas down the road.
Yeah, I mean, being third party, I'm not very familiar with the company, so I don't know how different it's going to look from the prototype pictures, but it's a decent option for if you missed out and you don't mind, it being third party and depending on what your thoughts are about that. So, all right. I'm going to finish up here with the InArt Pennywise. So just allow me to find that quick, because I saw some pictures that looked really cool and I hope I could find them pretty easily. But
the most controversial topic of the night is Hot Toys better than InArt, or is InArt actually better than Hot Toys? Stay tuned for the next episode of Wolfpack Wednesday.
To be continued. Now, somebody had them in in-hand photos, which I thought were really good, because obviously we have some lighting going on here, so you can't really see everything about the base. But I gotta say, I am Breda, when it's your show, I'm gonna come on and heckle the hell out of you.
Oh man.
So this is loosey goosey time. We're hanging out, just having talks time. You can spare a couple seconds and wait for me to bring it up, sir. Anyways, I'm impressed. I think this looks really good. I think personally it's better than the Hot Toys version aesthetically. Obviously, I don't have it in hand. I think the outfit might be a little too puffy, but I thought the Hot Toys one looked too scrawny, where the collar part was too saggy, and a lot of people cut that and then tried to put cotton balls in there to raise it up. And obviously the Rouge hair looks amazing. The paint applications on the face to me look astonishing. And then this base, this backdrop diorama base, looks really, really sick. And I believe it is made of real wood. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But Brick, start with you. What are your thoughts, man? Look at this.
Yeah.
You get the second head sculpt. This is different from the Hot Toys version too. So people could be buying both of them, because you can do.
Yeah, I would. I don't have the Hot Toys version, so I can't really put too much input. But from what I'm seeing, I think the figure looks better in pictures. But I do like the base actually better from Hot Toys. I like the sewer, the drain. I like that look, but I understand InArt had to do something different. I'm glad they kind of went with this stage-like, backdrop with the curtain in the background. So pretty sweet. I think he looks grimacing, evil as all hell, and yeah, he looks really good. And it may be a little puffy, but I think the head sculpt looks better on this
is
InArt.
So cool. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's cool.
DLO, you're getting this, right?
No, I'm not getting this here. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it because it's not that it's not wonderful. I think it's, in my opinion, I think it's a superior version out of the two. I think give this round to InArt. I think they did the better figure in this particular case here. When I first saw the photos, I was ready to rag on this one over here because I thought it looked hideous in the promotional photos. They're the final product. But Riley commented like, yeah, like those photos don't do it justice. These in-hand photos are far superior and gives you a better look at what this figure actually looks like. The suit doesn't look as puffy as it once did. The neck collar line looks a lot more flowing there. The head sculpts are 10s. 10s across the board there.
This would scare my kids.
I cannot get this.
It scares me. I mean, it's I'm gonna have nightmares. But
dude, having that looking behind me,
that's
this whole
cool.
Video would freak me out.
This is great right here.
That looks freakishly real right there. Like literally that could be Pennywise right there in real form, which is,
I could see this thing being like The Conjuring, whenever you bring it into your house and all of a sudden it's like killing your other figures at night and tipping them over, and then like shit's starting to go weird,
like
and
small soldiers.
Right.
Yeah.
I could see like this thing being possessed. So it's almost like some morale thing that I can't have them here. I like the movie, but
I will say that they're rooting there. All right.
So you're telling me not to buy this.
Let's talk about rooting here for a second, because I always say rooting on figures that don't have long hair looks weird. I'm not a fan of like rooted hair when it comes to short hair figures, in my opinion there. This one I feel like is an exception to what I always say. I feel like the level of realism that the rooting job does on this particular figure makes it stand out far beyond my expectations of what a figure could look like, to be honest with you. And you know me, I'm very critical when it comes to InArt. This one here, I can't disagree. I can't argue anything here. This is quality stuff.
So cool.
That looks, I mean, again, this is next level, and I did not realize that they were capable of going this hard. I mean, Gandalf looks really good. Definitely looks like an improvement for Joker. Seeing the Pennywise is definitely getting me more excited about what their releases are there. This one here, for me, I think it's a 10.
Does this bother you guys at all?
No, I think that works fine. I think it's a receding line there. I think that works for this figure here. I mean, maybe it might not be the prettiest thing, but I mean, if you're going to do rooting, you're going to see a seam line, or you're going to see hair strokes at some point there. So, I mean, it just might be one of those things we got to deal with there. But I think it
works for him because he's a clown. So those imperfections kind of work well with that.
Right. But that head sculpt right there, that's the money. That's why you buy this figure over a hot toy there, because, you know, agree to disagree on the first head sculpt on the Mepetitor, but you can't argue this one. This one here is scary good. No pun intended.
Optical. This is now what the third
InArt,
the third release from InArt. So we've had the Joker, we've had Gandalf, and now we have Pennywise. The Batman is coming up pretty quick. Is it time for maybe the people that have been a little bit more leery of giving props to InArt? Is it time to give InArt more props, more respect? I mean, they've had some bumps along the way. Is it time to kind of take them seriously for those that maybe that haven't to this point?
I don't know if anyone really questioned their quality, because if you do, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I think it's more so their speed. Like, Jesus Christ, this is like giving you nightmares and shit. I mean, look
like
at
watching the Bears.
The thing, it's more like a dream when you watch the Bears. You're like in clouds. It looks great, but let's be honest here. You take out the head sculpt, looks like Hot Toys, right? So you're buying the head sculpt here. You're buying the head sculpt. So the head sculpt is $500 for two of them. You almost want to buy the Hot Toys for cheap because it always goes on sale for 25% off back then.
For sure.
And then take out the other head, because it's almost criminal to leave the other head sculpt in a box. So if it works, then you have an extra body. I don't know if the connector is going to work. We don't know, but it's almost a good idea to do that. So you have the use for the other head. But no, I mean, people should. I don't know if they're a real threat as far as, hey, they're gonna, Hot Toys is in trouble. Not with this kind of IPs. Y'all said, I was like, it's great, but that's all you hear. It's like, it's great, but it's not for me. Like, I don't know if you guys are gonna pick up Gandalf too, or or that Dune
I got
person
Gandalf
guy,
coming.
or their Batman. I don't know. So it's not a competition. It's more of an option for them.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So we shouldn't like phrase it like that. I
True.
guess the biggest hurdle for me with them, like I want to buy them, but it's just again, where am I going to buy them? Like I don't want to pre-order them. I'm with InArt. If they're available, I want to buy them. If we're going to base it off Joker, it looks like you don't have to pre-order their stuff because a lot of people were able to pick up Joker without pre-ordering. Because that's the one thing that is kind of scary with Hong Kong retailers is pre-ordering, because it takes years and years and you don't know if they're going to fold. Now, even if you use your credit card or PayPal, you're outside of that window and it's kind of annoying, right? So no one likes to be bamboozled. With these guys, I mean, if it's available, maybe I'll pick it up, but I just don't see myself spending 500 as long as it goods on a Pennywise, so it's just, but then they should take this really seriously. I like the fact too that they're making something different from Hot Toys, although Hot Toys released this, but it is on the next level, like DLO said. Like if you really love Pennywise, fork out $500, buy this. That might be the only Pennywise you would ever need in your life.
Right.
I think the base too just really sets this thing apart from other figures, and I thought Hot Toys did a really good job with the base that they came with. But this just really just creates this whole diorama piece and really just puts the finishing touches on this. It's really is a work of art, as scary as it may be. So
that head sculpt is next level.
Yeah, for anybody getting this, congrats. But Evil Sneaker had a really good point in the chat. If you can get the Hot Toys one, let's just say you guys are in the market, right? You can get the Hot Toys one for half the price. Which one are you guys going with?
I would go with the InArt in this situation here. See, right now, I have the Pennywise from Hot Toys. So for me, I'm thinking to myself, okay, yes, I think the InArt one is better than one I have, but price point is a lot higher. And for what I pay for the Pennywise, will I get that? Will someone want to buy my Pennywise? That's where I'm really thinking of it there. And the simple fact is, I don't think my figure will net me enough to justify now doubling what I probably paid for mine to get this one here. And as much as I love this one here, the Hot Toys one is a very good one as well too. I think it has a lot going for it as well too. The two head sculpts are there, different sculpts, different options there. So it's not a stagnant kind of figure where it gets stale on you there. Like it's very changeable. It takes up a lot of presence on its own right there. And I love the base on that one too. I love the fact that I can use
it's a good one.
Both head sculpts at the same time. I think that's fantastic. That's very clever on Hot Toys side. So it's no slouch. So as much as I admire this one here, even if I was in a position to choose both of them without worrying about having another one and having to sell the other one, I probably would still pick the Hot Toys one, just because I feel like, since I'm not a fanatic about the character, but I love it quite a lot because I'm a horror fan, I think I'd be perfectly happy with the Hot Toys one if I had to do it all over again.
How about you, Brick?
Man, if it's half the price of this one, I'm going Hot Toys. I mean, it's pretty easy for me there. But if they're the same price, I'm going InArt. Something I really want them to do though is the classic Pennywise. That's something
Tim Curry would be sick.
That'd be pretty cool.
I would buy that one. 100%.
Okay, 500 for Tim Curry, maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Optical.
Yeah, Hot Toys one. Like this is where your love for the character would justify the price that you're paying for.
You have to.
That's the dilemma with InArt, because the price point that they set, you almost have to just love the character. You can't go Yelena on this one, where it's like, all right, she's a part of the team, I'm gonna go ahead and buy it. No, you can't do that with InArt. They're too expensive, and there's no guarantee, because it's so new, that one day if your car broke down that you will get the same amount of money, right? Like if you need to sell them, because sure, maybe they made a small batch, but I mean, what if people don't want to buy it because it's Pennywise and they're scared the shit out of it, like they don't want to buy it because it's scary. So like the amount that you're going to spend on InArt, you gotta be sure that you love the figure. So I think that's where it comes down to.
I agree. And that will definitely be one that I admire from afar. And, when Hot Toys came out with theirs, I thought maybe I'd get that one. But end of the day, it was just Not a big horror fan. I mean, I like the movie, but I don't think I want to collect it and just, having little kids and stuff. Brick, I know your son won't let you get a Joker because he's scared shitless. So,
my dad promised me I wouldn't get a Joker.
I mean, my girls are afraid of Edward
Now,
Scissorhands
I
down
will,
here.
though.
Like, love the movie, scared of the figure. I don't get it. So,
Yeah.
can't explain this stuff, but yeah, I mean, pretty much that. So, I mean, a lot of stuff dropping. I mean, again, lots of options, and
it's only gonna be more too. We're entering fourth quarter.
So before we go, I just really want to touch upon this, since we're talking about like all these options, all this stuff coming. Would you guys rather have Hot Toys do low batch numbers, or just focusing on main characters and not doing so many side characters? Because they're doing something, right? They're doing lower batch numbers. They're doing these numbered units because they don't want stuff sitting on shelves, right? They want to be able to move this stuff. So they're doing more of, like, you've seen some of the stuff that's being numbered. Some of it could be the artisan line, but I think we're seeing more stuff on waitlist with Sideshow. Maybe that doesn't really mean much, but would you rather have lower batches, so they're going to be selling out a lot quicker, or they just don't make those side characters as much? They're just going to focus on the Lukes and the Iron Man figures and the Batman figures, if that makes sense.
Give me the lower batch.
So what's the trade-off if they focus on the Batmans? Because they're doing them anyway now. So if they just focus on that, does that mean?
Okay, let me just change that. So maybe in addition to main characters, but maybe not as many variants. Like, we probably wouldn't have gotten the Flash, Ben Affleck Batman type of stuff. Like, we're just going to focus on mainstream 89 Batman, stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I hear where you're going with this here, man. And that's a good question, just because, every collector is very different, right? I mean, there's some people who don't care about the main protagonist of a story. Sometimes they like the supporting characters a little bit more. So that can be kind of different. Like, for example, like we use Star Wars, for example, here. I mean, I mentioned it before. How many Lukes are we up to now? What, over almost 20 Lukes over the course of the last 10 years since Hot Toys has been making them, more or less, right?
Wow.
So, a lot of those there. And, that it would look dull. I think it would look dull if that was what our options were. And you couldn't throw in, possibly a Sand Trooper with, Farm Boy Luke, or maybe perhaps a Snow Trooper with the Snow Speeder Luke. So I mean, I hear what you're saying, because you're right. I mean, there's definitely sometimes there's can be excessive amount of characters and not enough focus on the primary. And I think that's a tough thing to handle when you're a big company that's dealing with, 3 major IPs plus miscellaneous stuff, like getting into things like One Piece and doing a John Wick 4 series. I mean, so it's a tough budget as far as like what you make, what don't you make, what's hot, what's not, what's not, and what's going to sell and what's going to sit. Right. So, and it's a crapshoot, because, the problem with Hot Toys, if it was a company that can deliver a figure in 60 days, 90 days or something like that, it wouldn't be a problem, because we'd still be into whatever they're putting out. But the fact that you got to wait almost a year and a half, 2 years for some figures, I mean, so much time can go by, so much of your focus can change, and it can become irrelevant. It can be hot today, old news tomorrow, when it comes out and releases. So I think having options is not a bad thing, but I think the options have to be limited. And what I mean by that is, I think, maybe there's a compromise in your question there. Maybe we focus on main characters, but when we do a supporting character, we don't do a heavy run of this character. So that way, even though it may not be as important as having a Luke in your collection, it may be just as valuable to you, because not many people can get this side character that's out there,
Sure.
So, I mean, that was kind of the way the game was before. I mean, there's always been plenty of Lukes, plenty of Leias, and all these main characters here, but it was that random short trooper that no one wanted to buy, because it was just like, it went in the scene for 30 seconds. That was the figure to have, because not many of those were made. So I think what they need to do is they need to find that formula again to figure out what they should be doing more of, and what they should try to be limiting. I think they just can't continue to keep doing the same batch for a main character as a supporting, or vice versa, a supporting character as the same amount as a main character would. I think it should always be less. It should be more limited with a supporting character all times, every time, no matter who the supporting character is, and then obviously continue to make your money makers with the main characters for sure.
Very well said, as usual, DLO. Anybody else want to jump in with their thoughts on this? Too sweet, DLO. Too sweet.
Crap, did I just influence again? Shit.
Damn it.
It's been a while. I thought I got that out of my habit there.
So I think the other reason,
bad.
Brick, the other reason I asked this is I know some people have a hard time keeping up with everything that's coming out with Hot Toys too. So it's almost like, do we do lower batch numbers, or do they, theoretically cut back on some of these characters that they're releasing? So if you chose one, what would it be?
I would go with lower batch numbers. I mean, if you really like those side characters, you really like that line, you'll find a way to get it. And if you can't, then it really, helps that hobby, or this hobby as well, because now these figures are being worth something again, right? So I think there's a lot more positives to go into having a lower batch number for these side characters. But I do agree with DLO when he says that, hey, like, okay, give me Batman, make a way higher amount of those, so that's available. And for these side characters, like if they ever did like a Catwoman, make that limited run. They don't have to worry about, not necessarily Catwoman, but let's say like Yelena. They don't have to worry about, losing out on so much money because they overstocked on Yelena. So, and then the people that want her get her, and then she's worth something, right?
Right. Well, and I think too, if you have lower numbers, you start to see more diversity in people's collections.
Yeah.
Like we've mentioned it in the past, like you don't see all the same stuff, and I think that gets a little bit,
for sure,
repetitive when you start to see everybody's collection starts looking the same. Back in the day, even before I started collecting, you had Terminators and Predators, and I know that optical, you said that was the thing that was the big thing, but it's just nice to see different things that people like to collect, where now it's really narrowed down to the 3 IPs. But what are your thoughts on that optical?
It's hard, like, 'cause if I look at it in a collector's perspective, there's 2 type of collectors: the one who turns over figures quickly, and the one who just buys and just be happy with them. If you're the one who turns over quickly, you want it to be limited, so that when you sell, it has some sort of value. You can hold on to that. If you, let's say, for example, Yelena, if Yelena's only made, like, I don't know, 500 figures, then it'll sell out. That it's going to be easier for you to sell. Because that means it's not scarce. You don't go to Sideshow and make it available. Scarcity, it does add value to it. Now, on the flip side, you won't see sale if that's the case. So all these daily deals, not going to happen. Now, if you're the other type of collector who just buys things and, happy with it, then now it's more expensive for you to collect, because now you're buying everything at MSRP at full price. Yeah. So the answer is going to depend on what kind of collector are you. Now, as a reviewer, the earlier is better for me. Now it's scarce, then that means I can purchase a figure that I don't necessarily love. And that's how Yondu was made. That's how Hela was made. All these characters that are kind of like not really tier A, now you can flip them over, and now you get this tier of characters that are, you can still buy Vader, because there's a gazillion Vader now at a regular price, and be happy. But the sub characters now, if you want to, you got to pay to play, basically, if you missed out.
Yep, exactly.
So that is what collecting was before. But now it's a bit different beast, because we have a whole lot of collection. I don't know if that's necessarily going to work now, because your Yelena might be 500, and it might hold a value, but I might not even buy it, because there's a lot of Star Wars. This is not like 2015 where I'm limited to just Avengers. And if I miss out on Hela, man, that's all I have. I want Hela. I want to complete that. I want to be prepared. But now it's like, whatever, man. I'm just going to the next Ahsoka figure, So I don't know if it's going to work out. Now, as far as Hot Toys is concerned, is it beneficial for them to create 500 Hela? They paid for the licensing and the likeness of the actress to sell 500 units, kind of like in their eyes, it'll be like, why would we even bother? Like, how much profit are we even gonna make our money back? I don't know. We're just guessing here.
Yeah.
But at this day and age, we don't even know if this waitlist is true, to be quite honest with you. A lot of things are waitlisted, but a lot of things are getting converted as well. I was able to secure a DX25, and that's kind of like waitlisted all over the place, and it popped up all of a sudden. So we don't know if it's waitlisted because it's limited number of figures that they made, or is it the batches that they're saying? Are they purposely withholding it back, and then magically appearing?
So freaking lasers. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I got my Doc Ock.
Yeah, it's magically appearing. So it benefits both. It gives you that sense of, it's a collectible again. And at the same time, it's excluded from the sideshow coupons and such because it's, it converted. So it are they playing? I don't know. We don't know, right? Only time will tell. Like Cad Bane is all waitlisted. It creates hype. It's like, oh man, mine got converted. Sweet. I mean, it's still special if 50 of you got converted, kind of like, all right, is it dude, everyone's getting converted every day. So we don't know. I guess time will tell. We'll see. Sure. But so far, I guess the only option there is you really like it, don't take a chance. But as far as we're talking about value over time, we don't know. Like, we really don't. So we'll see.
Well, that was one of the biggest draws when I started collecting too, was the fact that I knew it was expensive, but I also knew the stuff held its value. So I could use my collection to fund my collection. So if things rose in value, I could make enough money to buy 2 figures or something if I chose to sell it. Now you are taking a huge hit, and it's just not that way anymore. And it's the hobby's really changed in that sense. And yeah, we don't know what's happening with waitlists, and I think they're trying to kind of correct it, but I don't know if, like you said, I don't know if they can correct it all the way. I think they've definitely made a little bit of people, like some people get scared with the waitlist thing, but then when you sign up and then 24 hours later all of your waitlists are converting, it's kind of like, okay, like really what's going on here?
Yeah.
And not only that, if you know where to find, like if you know the other stores, they have
true.
And here's the difference too between 2015, 17 and now. Back then, we know there's not a whole lot of selection, so there's a new cap coming. But the other person who missed out on the cap has no other options. Either you buy whatever scrap was left, or you buy my cap for X. You're gonna overpay. But now, look at how quickly the turnover is. Like, you bought that Ahsoka, the one that I broke the elbow. They might announce another Ahsoka in tomorrow, which is better. So even if you're Ahsoka, for example, that Ahsoka is already waitlisted, or it's not going to hold the value because of how quick it just changes.
Yeah, the turnover is ridiculous at this point here. And
I mean, they killed the Mandos with that. Yeah.
Well, what's crazy though too is like I see some really exclusive figures go on sale, like in the secondary market in some of the Facebook groups. Like, for example, the exclusive Endgame Captain America that was the suit from which one movie? It was from Winter Soldier. The strike suit. Thank you, from Winter Soldier. And that's a lot of people's favorite suit, mine included. But when I saw the price tag, I didn't go for it when it happened. People are trying to unload it now. Still not for a terrible price, pretty close to what it was going for on Sideshow at the time, and it's sitting there. Right. It's not because it's not an exclusive figure. It's not because it's not valuable, but now it's got a different problem. It's got competition with everything that's there now, and everything that we're expecting to drop as well too. So it's, even if you're sitting on something that is of value because of its exclusivity, it's limited, you still can't unload it because collectors are overwhelmed with so many figures. Now you throw in a company like InArt throwing things in like a Pennywise and a Gandalf, and how quickly our collector brain sets in. It's like we lose our focus, and whatever we were thinking about getting for Hot Toys, oh man, well then now InArt has this and I got to get that now too. And you're going this way. Before you know it, you're in broke street, man, because you're trying to keep up with everything that you put down. And that guy who's trying to unload his figure, he can't do it because there's no buyers out there because they're all tied up with other pre-orders and all other kinds of stuff. So
great point. Same thing would happen in the arena boba. People, it doesn't mean that it doesn't have value. It's just that it's competing with other figures that are out there. Especially now, let's say you're trying to unload that D100 Iron Man Mark 7, right? Like, it's limited. People are bought it, they got it. Some are loading it for $600. Before you're competing with InArt. It was like, now you have $600. Should I buy this D100 or this beautiful Pennywise or Gandalf, for example? So it's definitely, if they lower the value, like the number of, let's say, the Yelenas or the other figures, it still doesn't guarantee you that you're going to get break even. So it's a different time. Like there's a lot of competition. So even if they lower the number, are we guaranteed that we're going to see the Yondus and the Hellas? Is it still going to happen? I don't know. We don't know, right? And to people, it's like we're not talking about getting investment here. We're talking about just turning it over because you got limited space. Sometimes you want to upgrade. No one's buying Hot Toys to be a millionaire. It's mostly space and just they stand there. They have no use. So for the most part, when you want to buy something new, you want to at least kind of get back the money that you spend for that at a minimum, right? It's like, I just want to break even. No one wants to lose because you bought something and you put it in the shelf. It's just how it is.
And I'm okay with losing a couple bucks. Don't get me wrong, not every figure is going to hold its value, even in the best of days that we had there. But I mean, if I'm not losing my shirt, selling it, and maybe a couple bucks, $20, $30, whatever that may be there, I mean, that's still good. That's still not bad. But there was figures that, you can turn a profit. You can use that. And, like Graham's been saying, fund the hobby with the hobby there. But I mean, even now the space is so flooded with options that it's almost impossible, not because you bought something that was not a good choice, but just because you're in a flooded market where there's so much to go around and so much still coming. So I want to go shout out to the Ben Thomas show, because he put out an excellent comment there that I think is actually probably better than what I said, in my humble opinion here. Now that I read his, I think I prefer his way of doing it. I'd rather do a limited time pre-order windows rather than lower batch. I like selection, so I don't want just main characters. And I think that's probably the way to go. I think that's the future of where we should be going with this here. Because if we have a limited pre-order window and that is honored, and that's the key thing, it has to be honored, because I remember the limited pre-window for my InArt Joker, and that was not what I was told. I was not happy about that, but it is in the past. We can't change that though. But I do like this idea here, because, this is something that is going to help progress the hobby and control it to the point where now we are more in control of what is released, what is coming out, how many are coming out in an indirect way. But because we're finally doing what we've always said before, vote with your wallet, right? Voting with your wallet. That is probably, Ben Thomas, that's probably the best suggestion I've heard so far, because that will at least control us to an extent. Because if we have so many options and we have no consequences other than possibly NRD, it's a little bit different. And it's keeping us a little bit more accountable. And it's keeping Hot Toys and InArts of the world more accountable. And therefore, it's helping fix the hobby to where it's healthier again. And that way we can all start going back to doing certain things that were easier back then than they are now. And folks can start selling stuff again, and people can start making a profit and using that to fund the hobby, etc. It's a circle of this here. So
circle of life.
Yes. It's a one giant circle.
DLO plays devil advocate though. To a manufacturer, that's a big risk. And I think that's why you saw Joker pop up again. Because as a manufacturer, I want to hit a certain number. And if that time pre-order, I didn't get the number that I desire, I can't make your figure. Like, there's no point in making the figure for me.
And that's valid, because this is InArt's first figure. So in a way, I don't like it, but I understand the business behind it there. So I can't fault them to 100% there, because obviously, yes, I was under the impression this is what it was going to be. Obviously, this is your first figure. You have a lot riding on this here. You need these numbers to hit a certain number so you can fund the next figure that you're going to announce and do, and etc. And I get that. But I mean, let's take InArt out of the picture here, because they're still growing. We don't know what InArt's going to be in 5 years from now. We really don't. We like where it's going, but we have no idea if that Gandalf is going to hit our shelves in the next 30 days or the next year still, like the last one here. We don't know enough yet, but we know enough about Hot Toys, and we know enough with Hot Toys that, Hot Toys doesn't necessarily have the restraints as an InArt there, because they have more licenses. They're not necessarily reinventing a new body for every figure that they have here. Head sculpt, certain accessories, etc. I mean, that's the bulk of their cost, but they're still making their profit margins are a lot higher because they're charging more. And at the same time, they're doing more cost-effective products there because they're reusing a lot of stuff. So for them, it'd be a little bit of different here because they're more established over the last 20 years. I think for them specifically, this is what we should go with. I think Ben Thomas's idea is probably the way to go with Hot Toys. Hot Toys should consider something like this, because the loss for risk for them is so much lower than an InArt would be, that it would do a lot to repair relationships with the community and collectors and build more confidence back in Hot Toys, because there's so many folks who are rooting for InArt to win. And honestly, I don't get it yet, but I can see why, because collectors are starting to say, if it takes me spending an extra 100, maybe possibly even 200 more, but I know I'm getting exactly what I'm being promised here, then I'm going to support this company over here, because they're listening to what Hot Toys is doing that I'm complaining about, and these people are willing to do that. So I'm going to vote with my wallet. I may not like it, but I'm going to pay more because I'm getting what I'm asking for. You know what I mean? So I think Hot Toys needs to make these condition changes in order to build good morale with collectors and getting people to, again, pre-order again and stuff like that. Because right now, at this rate, everything's going to sit.
I think right now it's the wait list, whether we want to agree that it's real or not, it's working. You see it on post. Yeah. It's like, oh,
it is.
So they made some changes, whether it's real or not, it is working. Now, the problem with the window is that it works for Artisan Joker or Artisan whatever. Because that's, 2 days, they would rack money out of that. Imagine it's sold out in 30 minutes. I guess the question that I have is, we're not talking about the special edition pieces here. We're talking about the Yelenas. Imagine it, you can do it 2 days. And if you open one for like a side character, they might not even get 1,000. And at that point, if you're Hot Toys, you'll be like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? We can't make 1,000 of this, just like. So I guess my solution back then, what we're talking, it's like for side characters, or like, let's say RoboCop. And in my opinion, InArt, the reason why it got pushed, because they didn't get enough pre-order for whatever reason. Expensive, and it's hard to commit this many figures if you don't have the backing. And you open the 2-day window, for example, how many of those are going to cancel? Right? Like, let's say you get 100 pre-orders and then all of a sudden 30 canceled. So now you're going to make 70 figures. Now you're attached to that. Why don't they do a Kickstarter for a figure that is not highly sought after?
I love that.
And then if you do a Kickstarter, it's really expensive if you only make 500. Now, the more you make, the more the people back up, the lower the price becomes, because obviously the edition goes higher. For example, something that's not sought after. RoboCop, we all want it until it comes out. Then it sits on the shelf. So let's do John McClane, for example. A lot of people, I want John McClane. It comes out, no one buys it. They said, we're going to do a Kickstarter of John McClane. If we only get 100 backers, it'll be $600. I'm sorry. You really want it? Right. Pay 600. If we don't hit 100, we're not going to make it. Now, if we hit 500 backers, it becomes from 600 to 300 or 400, something like that. Yeah, and it goes lower and lower. I think that's the way to go, because as I can see in their point of view as a business, we don't want to make characters that people are not going to buy. That's why we're sticking with Iron Man, Luke Skywalker, because they do sell. Why would you want to make a figure? They don't do it for the love of the game. It's a business. For sure. If they do something like that, it's a win-win. If you cancel, you back them up, you won't get your money back. Sorry, it's a risk for them to do John McClane. So if they're doing it, you're going to have to pay for it. If a lot of backers, then we go ahead. The problem with that 2 days is that for non-essential characters, I don't think that means they're just not going to do it. It's like, oh shit, man, we didn't get enough pre-orders. Just not fucking do it, So I don't know.
Yeah, but that's such a great point that you bring up there, Optical, because it may not work for every figure, but I think that's kind of the point of it, right? Like, it shouldn't work for every figure. We shouldn't need, because if Hot Toys doesn't have a pulse on what figures are hot, no pun intended, or what collectors really want, then what's really the point of making it anyway? You're wasting money, and it's just going to sit on their shelves anyways, So maybe doing your route, which I think is a wonderful idea, I think that would be phenomenal for the side characters here, because you know what? That means some will be made, some won't. And the sums that do be made, we know how many there will be out there.
And the numbers. It's in Kickstarter, like they sold 5,000.
Right.
And you really want it? Let's say that's the number. Okay, this is the price you're going to pay. Because, we only got 100 backers. I don't know. It's 600. You pay it up front. If you don't, then if you want it, pay up front. If you don't, then you're not gonna make it. Something like that. So,
and how much you want to bet in a scenario like this, and like even if you are one of those backers and you can't swing the money for whatever reason at some point, you don't think another collector who missed out wouldn't want to take over your pre-order
spot, right? Yeah,
true.
So it's beneficial.
So you guys are bringing up basically basically it's a vote. Like, hey, if we back this, then they'll make it, kind of thing. So you're voting yes. So and I know this is totally different, but Lego does a thing on Lego Ideas where you can vote and kind of back these Lego ideas up, and if you get like 10,000, then there's a chance that they do that. So what if Hot Toys does something? What if Hot Toys does something like that, to where they have like these characters that they can make, and when people say, "Oh hell yeah, make that one," and then put like a thumbs up, or and then they get like 10,000, then it goes into like a new category, to where it's a good chance that they'll make that figure. Not a for sure thing, but they know, hey, people want this figure. Whereas instead of just, hey, we're making this figure, oh, nobody wants it, shit. Where now we can kind of vote on that. And I mean, you guys are talking about kind of a Kickstarter thing, so maybe something like that might work.
Yeah,
just kind of thinking out of the box.
I think they if we're, because we're always bitching about, hey, they don't deviate from the big three. Well, there's a reason for that. They just don't say. Now, if we really want them to do that, then we gotta back it up, right? Like we have to step up, and I think that's one way. What Ben is suggesting is good too. I don't think it would work for this, because we're talking earlier about side characters. I just don't think it'll work for regular releases. The 2-day window, that's for like special, I think, like the artisans. I agree.
Yeah.
It's a lot better system than what the lottery one. And if they do a 2-day, I think they will get more money, because now you don't limit yourself. Oh, we're only going to make 5,000. No, you got 2-day window. I think you're going to get more than 5,000 of that Joker, because obviously it worked for like 30 minutes, so I think that's more money for them, good, better for them. I don't know if it's going to work for every artisan, because Joker is really hot, and Anakin, it might backfire on some figures, but we'll see. They got to try something new. I guess we'll see.
I mean, foam was a real thing. It's been a real thing for a very long time, and I think even from their perspective, being a business first, and obviously thinking about the collector second, I think even from a smart business perspective, if there's a high FOMO rate, there's going to be more people willing to put down something now, just that they think it's going to be something they can't get.
Yeah, I agree. Great conversation, boys. Good brainstorming. Will Hot Toys do any of it? Probably not. But
probably not.
Still fun
Hire
to
me.
talk about, isn't
Give
it?
me figures for free. I'll endorse you.
Well, there's an opening.
So Ben Thomas was talking about like they could do minimum numbers, or they could number them, make a pre-order window. We got Denobi 2 jumping into the chat. He says Hot Toys doesn't bend the knee for anyone. Game of Thrones. They clearly have shown examples of this in the past 30 to 60 days. What's
That's
up,
a fair
Denobi?
Yep.
They call me Queso Blanco. Says, damn, y'all still going? Hey, we're only at 2 hours and 22 minutes.
That's
Last
nothing.
week we went 3 hours and 15 minutes.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Don't worry, Optical. We're not
great,
going
though.
that long
Good
tonight.
episode.
Samuel says, repping your team.
His eyes popped out. You doing
Yeah,
what?
he's like, God. For me, it's a long 7 to 8 months of work. Got to pay off these pre-orders. Amen to that. I like this name, Stevie Weeby. Yep, this is a 24-hour stream. The guys are streaming until Thursday night football game starts. Hence the NFL jerseys. That would be fun. We just kind of take shifts.
No, it wouldn't.
Like, people go to bed. I guess I'm doing
something-
solo right now, and like a lock-in where I just put like a sleeping bag back here, and like I'll take a nap for a little bit, and then kind of come back, and hey, almost like a Truman Show thing,
My boss would call me like, "Why are you on YouTube right now?"
Going mobile.
That's something that the community
You said you had
should
a
do.
doctor's appointment.
all the different YouTubers, all the different shows, like a 24-hour stream where it's, hey, you're locked in at this time, this show's locked in at that time, just have a whole day of live streams. That'd be awesome.
What do they call this? No, it's like what do they do? Like it's like these phone marathons they used to do back in the day. You remember those?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what it would kind of be like,
Is that
Make it happen.
what channel
I
did
don't know.
that?
That would heal the community.
Like once a
think.
year.
We are the world.
Congregation.
Yeah.
Sorry, congregation. We're not there yet. Fair enough. We'll get there one day.
Yeah. Are you ready for some football? Yeah, we ready. All right. Good deal. We're gonna end this thing. It was a lot of fun. Optical, thank you for taking the time to be on the Wolfpack. Just do us a little too sweet for the crowd.
That's all I can do after taking all your money. So
That's the least like you do.
yeah,
Whoa,
So-
guys.
To end this, Obviously, if you're watching this or in the chat, make sure you subscribe to each and every one of these guys' channels. Great guys in the congregation, and they do a lot of good stuff, for their channels and whatnot. A lot of fun to hang out with you guys is a great time. How I'm going to end it is I want you to pick the score between your team and who they're playing this week. Who wins, what the score will be. And D'Lo, I want to start with you on this. And if you have any other plug for yourself that you want to do, go ahead.
Let me see here. Well, I got to look up because I haven't been.
All right, Obstacle, you go first.
I know we're going to win every game. So.
Justin Fields, 300 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns.
So what's the final score? 45-0?
45-0 against the Packers.
I can't believe I missed this up here. So we're playing the Cowboys on Sunday.
Yeah, what the hell?
We're the big Sunday game.
Yeah, Sunday nighter.
I've been so busy getting prepared for you in our fantasy football league. So he want to bring that up.
We were supposed to talk a little bit
about the teams, who got the best one, but clearly he was scared because he knew the answer to that question.
Why do you have to pick in 30 seconds? And I'm back to back. Let me live, man. I just picked someone and all of a sudden
you got 60 seconds, my man. Technically, you should not complain. You have 60. You had it sweet.
I'm always back to back.
Listen. There was going to be somebody. There was somebody who was going to pull an auto draft, and I'm not waiting 3 minutes per round for that one guy who just decided to just auto pick Jalen Hurts in like the second round. I'm not doing that. I don't know if he's here or not, but yeah, I wasn't standing for that. So 30 seconds, deal with it. I think you did pretty good. All things good. Why are you complaining? You have a pretty solid team.
I got back to back. One time I picked somebody that I didn't even want. It was like I picked David Montgomery and like
he's like screw it.
What the
sounds like you came into this without a plan, then, sir. Because
you ever get it where you like freeze? You see the clock ticking and you like can't move, and you're just like,
I swear to God, I didn't autograph at any point. It's just like I was like, why is this 30 seconds? I mean, it's fine if you're not back to back, but I was back to back every time.
We thought Evil Sneaker was going to stream because he wanted to stream at 8 o'clock our time, and then he decided he wasn't going to.
Yeah.
So I think we tried to expedite the process.
Do we have time for one thing here, Graham? Can you pull up your team, my team, the matchup there? Just so that we can get the audience over here, the chat to see who's going to win.
I'd have to log.
Because by the way, we're going to beat the Cowboys. The Giants are. I'm going to predict this to be a pretty high scoring game.
God, I don't know my sign in.
I'm going to say 24-27 Giants. Graham Gano, baby, for the win.
I would say Packers Bears. I would say Packers win 26-20.
You're really going to say that both teams are going to score 46 points, huh?
I'm going to say the Packers,
but I could see it go very
Bears. 20.
Man, y'all living in the past of Aaron Rodgers, man.
I'm going to say 20-17 Packers.
It is in Chicago.
Brick, you don't have a quarterback. Win 52% to my 48.
So you play Brick, huh? You guys play each other, and me and D'Lo play each other.
That's pretty cool. You got to pull up those two matchups real quick here.
I got it on my phone, but I don't know my sign in. I don't know how to sign on my computer.
Yeah, signing computer, sure.
No, I don't know how. I don't know my sign on stuff. I don't have it.
Hold on. Oh my God, I'm professional. Jeez. Hold on.
Cowboys are a non-factor.
All right. Give me. I'll sign into
my game of the week though. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. It's
interesting.
Jets and Bills.
Yeah, that'll be good. Monday night. Interesting that the Lions are on tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still kind of exciting, but
I mean, these aren't your dad's like Lions, though. In fairness, this is a pretty solid young team right here.
That's true.
Let's see.
Hurry, we're losing viewers. Hurry.
Well, once they see what your team is, we'll lose even more.
They're like football. Bye.
All right.
Dude, my team's gonna kill you. It's not even gonna be close.
Okay. Settle down, pal. Settle down. Okay, why can't I do the matchup?
We're gonna have to take Breece Hall out of there, though.
I would say so here. Opposing teams, fantasy cast. Where's the matchup? Where are you fools? There you go. Schedule. I'll probably find it this way.
And then make sure you send it to me so I can share it. Optical, you get any new figures lately?
Soon. Yeah,
other than
it's been sitting there.
There you go.
Black Panther, Garfield, Spider-Man, And
What do you think of the Black Panther?
I don't have it yet. It's sitting on my pile.
Okay.
I just want to ship it all at once, so it's like $4. So,
all right. You want me to share it, or you want me to send it to you?
Go ahead.
Here?
You can share it.
And share it. Okay.
Share your screen.
Sharing, baby. Wowie wow. Very nice. Here we go.
Just don't show your OnlyFans.
There it is. Oh my
Oh,
gosh. What? How did that spicy link get in there? All right. So you have the Night's Watch.
They
versus
wouldn't let me put Jedi. It was like a striked out word. So
copyright. They own it, so you better not use it. All right.
Yeah.
Double jointed elbows is my team name. So what do we have here? So all right. So I'm projected to win by 9 points here. So it's points per completion for quarterbacks and then PPR for everybody else. So he's got Justin Herbert. I've got Patrick Mahomes. He has Saquon Barkley. I have Aaron Jones. He has Javonte Williams. I have Rashard White, CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, Chris Olave, Deebo Samuel, Christian Watson with a Q. Oh, no, that doesn't sound good. Chris Godwin, Tyler Higbee, Kyle Pitts. I know, sue me. I'm a believer. Cam Akers, Alexander Madison.
Flex positions.
I'm gonna go
Sutton.
I'm gonna go Graham only because
Figured, why am I not surprised?
No, I'm D'Lo. I'm gonna say this. I think you end off with a better record at the end of the season.
Anybody
But
wants Fields?
I think Graham
Optical?
wins this week because Justin Herbert against Miami. And if it's anything like last year, it's going to be like 48-45. So it's going to be a high scoring game. Herbert's going to get some points.
I think if
Olave's
Kelsey doesn't play,
good.
Mahomes is going to go off. It's going to be a crazy shootout, just like it was with Jared Goff in was it St. Louis at the time they were in when they had that massive game where it was like almost 100 points.
Sure. But that Lions defense is going to be a little better. I don't know. We'll see.
It's still Patrick Mahomes, bro. But okay, fair enough.
It is.
Fair enough.
I agree.
So I can't see the chat or anything like that. I don't know if anybody's saying that Graham is the clear winner or if I am.
Nobody's saying anything. They're all
Thanks,
just
guys.
saying the
They
damn
left.
thing.
We have 5 people left in the chat.
Optical, send me an offer for Fields.
All right.
You dropped Fields.
Yeah, I got Fields on my bench if you want to make a play for him.
Hey,
You can definitely use that here.
Throw
So-
St. Brown my way.
You have 30 seconds.
All right, so you got all right. So you got Brick versus from Optical over here, Team Star Ace. Nice one there, Optical.
It's cool that we all play each other.
Yeah, that was not planned at all.
It kind of worked out great, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, Brick's got Joe, Gibbs, Harris,
Oh.
Chase, Wilson, Williams,
oh God, you
Njoku,
dropped
Cook.
Harris?
You put Sky Moore in your lineup. Smart move right there.
Oh, yeah.
Packers defense and Jake Elliott. Meanwhile, we got One Tua, Mixon, Damian Pierce, Jefferson. He's gonna go off in this game. Claypool,
Shit.
Hey,
you got
just
Jeff.
Chase.
Claypool.
That is a lot of faith right there. Okay,
man.
okay. Hawkinson. Okay, yeah, I don't know about this one here, but okay.
Well, let's look at his bench. Let's set Optical's lineup here.
Can we help his lineup there?
haven't fixed it yet.
Don't stop.
Did you wait? Are you really starting Chase Claypool over
monetized?
Mike Elliott? I screwed up right there.
Mike
There it goes.
Evans getting traded.
I'm getting
That
canceled.
was just a slip.
He's getting
Yep.
traded.
Yeah,
Mike
I guess
Evans.
that's
I'm
fine.
putting Dylan in there. I'm gonna take out Pacheco. I haven't really looked at this yet,
You got Mooney and Boyd. I would
put
start
AJ
Mooney
Dillon in there.
Over.
dude. He was
Uh,
like, Mooney hasn't really. Mooney was like an 11th round pick. So
You need another
Yeah,
bear.
but I pick him over Claypool. Claypool hasn't done nothing for you guys.
No, you put Mike Evans in over Claypool.
Of course. I mean, I'll take Evans if you don't want him. That's silly. I'll get you. I got something on my bench. You go. Let me see what. I'll give you.
this is
Give
what
you this
happens.
guy here, Rasheed Rice.
I'm
Rasheed
telling you,
Rice.
For the,
see
for
what
the new
happens when
people
you're back
coming
to back
in.
with 30 seconds to pick. You know, it's just like what?
Clearly.
somebody good.
We did have a 1-6 skill show. Where the show's over. We're just kind of talking football now. So
We're backstage now. You guys.
in case
are with us.
anybody's coming in that's just wondering about that, but we'll see what happens. It
will
should be
see.
fun. But yeah, Optical, if you want to hit me up for a Fields offer, send it my way.
We'll see.
I'll
I
take
think I'm
Fields.
winning though. I think I
coming
got
after him.
Graham this first round here. This first game, I think I got in the bag. I think I'm good.
All right, well, we'll see. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate all the support. You guys rock. Thank you for keeping everything going in the chat. A lot of fun tonight. Thank you, Optical, again for being here as special guest. And enjoy the 2023 football season if you are a fan. And if you aren't, give it a shot. Till next time, stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon. Too sweet.
Peace.
Boom.